I think we're good. I think we're streaming, and it's all fine.
What are you streaming actually? Are you streaming?
Just the screen share. Your screen share.
Right, let's go.
Yay! It seems to be working. Looking at it now. Dun, 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 dun.
Bit over dramatic.
Nah, it's good.
Someone get rid of rhythm. I'm sick of it.
What is rhythm? Why is rhythm in the server? I have rhythm muted. Anyway,
Right, okay, thank you.
Let's get it going.
Okay, alright, so welcome to a political debate with Jack Salisbury, Volume 2, Salisbury versus Knight 2020.
Good man.
Okay, here are the issues. What is the best system of government? Would we be better in the EU or out of the EU? What is the modern equality movement getting right and wrong? Is Boris Johnson's new climate plan good enough? Yeah, I really need to get rid of it.
Why is your mic so shit quality all of a sudden?
Too loud. Right, there we go.
There we go. Struggling with your PowerPoint a bit.
Okay, right. Right, now rhythm's gone. Right, okay. Right, is Boris Johnson's new climate plan good enough? How can the UK's democracy be improved? Was Margaret Thatcher really that bad? Should there be devolution in the north of England? Should the UK be involved in conflicts outside their borders? What is the current state of the Labour/Conservative parties? And should the royal family be abolished? Those are the issues in that order.
Yay.
How will the debate be conducted? Okay,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So you cretins have 2 minutes to deliver an opening statement.
It's going to take less than that.
Yeah, probably. On the topic presented. And then you Muppets will then debate each other. There's no time limit. And then after you've reached some kind of, final point, the questions will then be opened up to the audience, few as there are. The audience will then vote, and once there are no more questions, we move on to the next topic. After all topics have been explored, we then announce a winner and reveal statistics, apparently, after verifying the votes. It's all cool. Okay, here are the rules. There's like some other rules, like just don't be a moron, but like they're fairly self-explanatory. Okay, don't interrupt your opponent excessively when they're speaking. No unparliamentary language to be used in the debate. And don't say the N-word. It's not funny, and it makes you look like a dickhead. So don't say it. Honestly, it's really not hard
it says
to
a
do.
fucking dickhead there.
Yeah, thank you for that, but that's unparliamentary language.
Dickhead's unparliamentary.
Obviously.
It's a bit hypocritical, this PowerPoint, yeah.
Alright, just shut up.
It's already a shit show.
Alright, is everyone happy with that?
No, but let's carry on anyway.
Yay!
The debate about how hypocritical the PowerPoint is. Now let's go.
Alright.
Okay.
Well, we
What
need to
is
do
the
opening
best
statements,
system?
don't we?
Yeah, opening statements. Any volunteers who wants to go
I'll
first?
go
Joel
first.
can go first.
You want me to go first? Alright.
Okay, Joel, you go first.
Alright.
Go.
I didn't actually write anything down for this. Hello, I'm Joel. I'm a monarcho-socialist. Which just kind of means, like, I think the government should be pretty small, and its only job should be to enforce the rules of socialism that I will lay out later on. I believe in personal freedom. I think we all have a right to own a gun as well, and LGBT shit, stuff like that, like all that pizzazz. Right, off you go, Jack.
I'm Jack. I've done absolutely pretty much no research for this. God knows what the fuck I am. Just get on with it.
You're a moderate conservative, Jack.
Thank you. I'm a moderate conservative, apparently.
You were last time, anyway. Right.
I'm pretty sure I've not changed.
It appears we're done.
Right, Jack, can you explain what you mean by moderate conservative, please?
I'm a conservative mainly economically, but more liberal socially.
Thank you. Okay, right, there's a poll and debate. Vote for who you agree with more.
Ooh.
What, just based on that?
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
There's a poll for who won at the end of this discussion.
Are we going to wait for that poll, or are we just going to move on straight away?
Move on straight away.
No awkward
Alright.
silence. Good.
That's awkward silence right there. Where's Lewis?
Hi.
Dead.
Honestly,
Am I dead?
Right, come on.
Right. What do you mean? What do you want me to do?
Just read out the thing. Like, we're starting the topic.
introduce the topic.
What is the
That's
best
your
system
job.
of government?
Right, cheers.
I thought we already did that. That's...
Right, I'll go first on this one. Okay, so monarcho-socialism. I'm about to go off, right? So basically, it means the workers control the means of production, which I will explain in more depth after Jack's had his go. Minimal government interference, but still obviously is necessary to enforce that kind of a company. All people will be given universal healthcare, basic income, basic housing, shit like that. Restrictions on gun laws would be lifted because we wouldn't need them anymore because no one would want to shoot each other because no one would be poor. Social programs to keep people from getting too poor. You know, like, and I also think that like wealth past a certain point, you don't need that much wealth. So there should just be a cut-off point where like all of that goes off as taxes, essentially. Although I'm willing to change my opinion on that. Not really 100% sure on that one. Police would not be non-existent, but would be massively reduced in power and numbers. And yeah, pretty much it. That's the perfect world. Right, go on, Jack.
For me, it's a lot more giving more businesses, especially small businesses, more free reign to do with stuff, giving more power to local areas and local councils, and increasing the metro mayors, increasing the power towards metro mayors, the government taking a back step in policy making when it comes to local regions, and an increase in stuff like the police force, and keep gun laws.
Okay.
Have you got all that?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Let's just absolutely go off then.
Yes.
Okay. Let's start with. So you say you want to sort of lift restrictions on businesses, right?
Small businesses, yeah.
So what about large businesses? Keep them restricted.
Yeah, because it's to hopefully not damage small businesses, if you get me. Stop a monopoly from forming.
Okay, but don't you think that the problem is kind of at the root there, where the reason those businesses get big is because when they're in the small stage, they use these odd, like, not illegal strategies, but they use sort of bad strategies, right?
If it's there, fair play to use it.
So, right. So it's fair play to use child labour in Africa to make your products.
I mean, if it's there, you'd be an idiot not to, let's be honest here. But it's not morally good, but you'd be an idiot not to.
Yeah, well, that's the point. Like, it's not morally good. So how can you say like that they should be using child labour in other countries, or like outsourcing to another country where pollution laws aren't as good?
Yeah, but I'm saying, yeah, well, I suppose you're right there. But I've done no fucking research. But
That's fine.
my brain's gone. Give us a second.
Take all the time you need here.
But I suppose, like I said, if it'd be the government's job to monitor that and stop it from happening. But that's an exception. More stuff like oh god, I fucked it, haven't I?
You're not fucked. Just carry on.
First bloody point, I've already crashed and burned. Good.
Carry on. Keep going. And then I'll fuck you.
Thanks for that. Yeah, I'll concede the point there.
Okay.
I'll
go. He's conceded a point already. I win.
Well, it's down to the vote. Isn't it?
Right.
So,
if we somehow get up the vote from
there's
that.
the there's the new poll.
Wait. Whoa. We've not finished the bloody topic.
Bloody point.
Well, keep discussing, but that's the poll anyway.
Yeah, calm
Okay.
down.
Anyway, what did you say about gun control and that if everyone was poor, no one would want to shoot each other?
Okay, that's the other way around. If no one's poor, no one wants
Oh,
to shoot
so
each
if no
other.
one's poor, everyone wants to shoot each other. No one wants to shoot each other.
Yeah, well...
Because murderers, I think, could have a word with you about that.
Yeah, right. So, right, give me an example of someone that you wouldn't want to have a gun, right?
The mentally ill.
Right, mentally ill. Okay. What kind of mental illness? Like like schizophrenia, where a voice in their head
Stuff that
tells
would
them to shoot someone.
hamper your brain from making
Right.
a decision, stuff like that.
Social programs, healthcare,
Yeah.
free healthcare would help with that. Would stop them instead of stopping them by shooting them in the head when they get
Yeah.
to the point where they want to shoot other people. You stop
Yeah.
them in the early stages, and you fix.
Yeah, but you
the
can do that
problems.
and have gun laws that stop if they fall through the net, then readily available
But
to
then-
get a gun and
but-
then shoot up a
But
place.
then, how are we supposed to defend ourselves if the government one day decides to become fascist?
Well, because I'm not saying ban all guns. I'm saying have gun laws. I'm not saying we can't
I mean-
get
I
guns.
mean lift
I'm
the
saying
current
heavily regulate it. Make sure the people that are getting guns are mentally sound enough to know them. Make sure they've not got a violent history.
Yeah, that kind of thing is fine. But I mean, like in this country, you can't just like get a gun like you can in America, right?
And that's a good thing. Not in Asda's.
It is in the way with the way that the world currently is. But if we
Yeah.
had these social programs, right? If we
Yeah.
stopped them at the first hurdle instead of wait until they decide to shoot up a fucking school, right?
Yeah.
Then like we couldn't just give them a gun as long as they've gone through these checks, and if they don't
Yeah.
meet the checks, then they go through social programs to help them.
Yeah, but then what's to say when they go through them? What happens when something else goes wrong, or the
Well, no, it's not.
escalate?
No,
or
when they go,
a
it's
situation
not.
escalates quickly and they shoot someone dead.
No, the point
They're completely
is
sound normally, but it escalates too quickly. Now they've shot someone dead.
the point is people who are actually at risk, like, and have been judged as being at risk of being a mass killer, will obviously not get access to a gun. But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that we can't give guns to the other people as long as they're trusted to keep them safe. And
But
these
surely-
social programs would stop them from having mental issues. Essentially, I mean, they would still have the issues, but they would be.
But surely easy to just
massively
take
controlled.
guns out of the equation altogether. Then there's no risk of it.
Yeah, but you can't take guns out of the equation because what about the
Well, you-
police, right? The police have guns.
Yeah, highly trained, trusted police. Yes, not
Highly trained, trusted
Jim.
police who.
not Jim, the one who's walking
highly
down the
trained,
street.
trusted police who accidentally kill people.
Yeah, that's fighting situations where it's based responses. That happens.
It happens, but it happens too much.
Yeah.
It happens more than it should.
Yep.
And that's because the police have essentially too much money. They just hire people.
If anything, it's the other way. They've got shite training for it. They've got too little money, so they can't train them properly.
Well, no, it's not even that. Like, a lot of people who are police are like, used to be in the army or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but there's a lot of difference in training between shoot everyone on sight and
well,
check them. And
Exactly. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
and if we
they're
train them
trained in this
properly-
way, and they're not fit to be police, but they still get the job. Why?
yeah,
do they
and
get
if
the
we
job?
had,
They're not
and if
fit.
they had money to train them properly, then they could take the skills and turn it into more police, and then they would be fit to do
But
the
we
job.
wouldn't need that many police, though, as well. And also, police will just follow the orders of whoever is, the prime minister, I guess, at that point. Like, that's not a good model. Because if
What
one
are
day...
the drones now that aren't capable of independent thought?
Well, no, obviously they are capable of independent thought.
So
When
if
you've
if the government's going fascist, what's to say the police won't go? Well, hang on a second, we won't support that. We're in favour of democracy.
Well, did that happen in Nazi Germany?
No, because they're in favour of fascism.
No, I'm pretty sure most of them probably weren't in favour of that.
No, but the ones up top were.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The ones up
Yeah.
top made the people below obey. You can't
Yeah.
you can't allow that to happen. So the way that you stop that from happening is you allow the people lower down to defend themselves against the government, and you reduce the power of the government by reducing the amount of police and the funding for the police. Because in
But
this
then-
society, you wouldn't need that many police. There'd still be issues, obviously. You would still need police because there's always going to be like someone who gets angry and fucking like beats the shit out of their wife because they're an arsehole. Like that's always going to
Yeah.
happen. But you can reduce the amount it happens a lot. And if you reduce the amount, then that means that you reduce the amount of cases.
What?
So then you can reduce the amount.
You've reduced the amount of cases because the police can't rock up to half the bloody cases.
No, you reduce the amount of places they have to go to by using social programs and things. So like, right. So I'm sure you can agree. A lot of people who commit crime, probably, I don't know what percentage. I mean, I probably could have looked this up. Aren't doing it necessarily out of malice, but out of need.
Yeah.
Right. So what if those people didn't need to do crimes? Crime would drop, right?
A lot of robbery crimes, yes, but a lot of violent crime, not particularly too much.
Not necessarily. I mean, I think gangs are quite violent with each other.
Yeah.
And they're in gangs because they can't afford to really do anything else, you know?
But then could you argue that the gang leaders still want the power, so with the police gone, the gangs most likely going to rock in with their gun to take control of areas?
What?
Well,
Wouldn't
you
be
get rid of
gangs,
the
that's the
police.
point.
There's going to be power hungry. There's going to be power hungry. Let's use your Nazi example.
Listen,
if the police weren't there, the Nazis were able to get guns. The Nazis could then, with the police not being able to enforce stuff, can then take over neighbourhoods.
the point is, you don't reduce the power of the government until the rest of the people are stable. Okay, I'm not saying like right now we should reduce the police, because we shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because right now social programs aren't up to scratch. Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of poor people. There's a huge amount of people living paycheck to paycheck, or who have to resort to crime because they can't afford it, who have to join gangs because they don't have another option, right? We fix that problem first, and then we don't need that many police anymore, and the funding from the police can be redirected further into those social programs to improve them even more. And then time, the police reduce as the social programs go up.
But what happens when the economy goes bust? Those social programs can no longer function, and now there's also no money for the police as well. What happens when political groups use that to seize neighbourhoods, like what happened in Jamaica?
What happened in Jamaica?
Political groups got armed guns, took over neighbourhoods, used that. You had a lot of Jamaican gangs nowadays are from old political parties that took over neighbourhoods and towns and cities and made them vote for the political vision they want.
Why would that happen?
Well, because you've got rid of the police, it's a lot harder for the. You've severely brought them down. There's a lot now. People who are now rich can now afford to look into political activity. There'll be a lot more people more politically inclined and politically involved.
But why would people want to do that? Why would people want to sort of change that type of a status quo?
Because there'll always be people that want to change status quo. There will always be people that look at something and go, "Well, I don't like that.
Yeah,
I want to change it."
Right, but
there'll always be people like that.
People can defend themselves because they'll also have guns. You're not just gonna like rock up in a neighborhood and go, "Yo, this place is ours," because everyone's just gonna lean out the window with a fucking AK. Say no.
Does everyone know how to properly use the AK?
If they've bought one, they probably know what they're doing with it.
Well, you say that, but America, half the people that buy them don't know what the shit they're doing with theirs.
Well, that's the point. You would have to prove that you know how to use it.
Right. So you do want gun laws then?
No, I'm saying lift.
So there is some gun laws then. You can't. You said get rid of gun laws, but there is some gun laws.
Yeah, but I never said remove all gun laws. I never said like just pass out guns for free.
Right.
No, but you did say there shouldn't be gun laws.
No, I just said that certain restrictions should be lifted. Maybe I said all restrictions, or maybe I just said restrictions. But I meant some, not all.
I'm pretty sure you said some restrictions should be lifted.
Definitely some restrictions should be lifted. That's what I meant. It's like the majority of restrictions, but there's obviously ones that have to be there. I'm not arguing with you about that. Like, it's just
fair enough.
I think there's too many. It's too hard to get one, as opposed to America where it's like too easy. But I think
there needs to be some middle ground. You're saying?
Yeah, it needs to be some kind of middle ground, but also it shouldn't happen until we've got these social programs like universal basic income, because then basically no one can be poor if there's universal income. And that'd be funded by, like I said, the higher taxes on large businesses. There wouldn't really be as much of a hierarchy either. People wouldn't like be envious of the upper class because there wouldn't really be an upper class. There would just be sort of maybe just like middle and upper, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because you can't get to the point where you're too poor to sort of get out of it.
Yeah.
Because there's all these social programs that will help you find a job. You still get an income from the government because you'll at least be getting, like, I don't know, say £1,500 a month, right?
Yeah.
Paid for by those taxes. If when you do get a job, it'd be sort of a worker co-op structure. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of a structure would sort of be enforced essentially.
Why
So-
don't you explain what a worker co-op structure is for our audience and me?
Okay, so it's like, to put it simply, it's basically the workers sort of get like a share of the business and therefore some control over the business.
John Lewis do that, don't they?
I didn't know that.
I think John Lewis do it, yeah.
But yeah, so it essentially means the workers like are never really going to get stuck in a job where they have like a manager they hate, because if they all hate the manager, they can essentially vote to get rid of them, because they're all shareholders of the business, and they can also decide what their wages and everyone else's wages are. You know, they could operate it however they wanted. They could choose, oh well, you know, maybe we're not fit to run a business, so we'll just elect someone who is like that. It essentially would work like a mini government, every business.
Yeah.
So everyone would be able to democratically decide on how the business is run.
Yeah.
Right.
Are we calling it a day there, Jack, or do you have anything else to say?
No, that's it. That should be it.
I'm satisfied with that.
Do you want to take
Does
chat
anyone have any
questions? Yeah.
questions? Speak up now. Off.
Hello, Archie, by the way.
Oh, it's actually here. Nice. Is someone speaking right now? I've got everyone muted, so.
Declan is speaking, so
Wait, hang on.
unmute Declan.
Yeah, let me unmute him. You'll have to tell me when someone starts speaking.
See,
Hello,
Declan is
Declan.
muted most of the time anyway, so just have him unmuted.
Okay, Declan, what's your question?
What was the best form of government in your mind again?
Monarcho-socialism, essentially, is what I call it.
Alright.
You can call it like freedom socialism or libertarian socialism. It's kind of the same.
Okay. So what I'm so bad at finding words. What's
Struggling.
I'm so sorry. I'm trying like this. Just come
It's
back.
fine.
Okay.
I'll ask a question.
Anyone else got
How
a
do you
question?
prefer? Right, I'll
Okay.
ask a question
Alright,
for
right.
Joel.
Mhm.
How do you propose you actually achieve your system of government?
Probably through revolution, because the upper class would not want that. I mean,
Okay.
everyone knows that like the high class people, the people at the top, are basically there because they put down the working class, right? They don't want them earning the same as them or having a chance to. They want to be at the top.
Yeah.
And they want all the power.
So, would you be fine with the upper class if they used robots instead of workers? Because then the workers
No.
won't be oppressed.
No, Well, it depends on the job. For certain things, like I suppose you could maybe use. I mean, even
Mining?
for like, yeah, maybe, but I don't know. It'd really depend, because once you introduce a universal basic income, as long as that is steady, even if there's like bloody robots taking over all of the jobs, essentially,
Right.
you would still have income.
Okay.
But yeah, you have anything to say to
Right.
that, Jack?
I definitely think government should do stuff to encourage businesses to not go automation.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be some like a tax break or something, depending on how many workers you've got that are human and not robots.
Although I think
Very-
maybe the police should be robots in the future.
What,
That'd be pretty
RoboCop?
good. Yeah, pretty much. That'd be
Right.
good. They can't make mistakes, so.
That's cool.
Right.
Declan, did you?
Anyone who hasn't
Yeah.
voted the polls in the debate chat, so vote. Go on.
Do you have a question then, Declan?
Alright. So for universal income and all these things that you want the government to have,
Mhm.
that is a lot of money. So much money. That is what was the population of the UK? Like 66 million people.
Yeah.
So you're
And-
just asking how I would pay for it.
Yeah, how will you
Uh,
pay for it? And if it is possible, how would you deal with the? I'm not sure if this will happen because of it, but how will you deal with inflation if caused by it?
Why would it cause inflation?
Well, everyone's getting money in
Just
it.
print more money.
You're not.
It's
like,
Weimar
yeah,
Germany
you're
all
not
over
like
again.
printing more money to give them more money. That's not how it works. Right. So essentially, it would be paid for because businesses would get to when they get to the certain point, like I said. And again, the exact number, like the exact cut-off point at which like is the max earning for a business, it'd be quite high, right? And it would also be dependent on how many people work at the business. Obviously, if you have more workers, you need more money to pay the workers. So therefore, the cut-off would be higher. So essentially, that would like think about businesses like, I don't know, Amazon, right? Imagine if you had Amazon in this country. Think about how many workers there are, and if you paid every worker there is at Amazon, right? If you paid them all the same and it was a living wage for all of them, and it was actually probably a pretty good wage, right? I know it isn't at the moment, but in this society it would be. They're all earning a living wage. Amazon would still have lots of money left over because Jeff Bezos has like more money than you could ever possibly imagine, all earned from Amazon, right? Isn't he like nearly a trillionaire now?
Almost.
He's the richest man alive.
Just
yeah,
over.
he's the richest man in the world, right? So if you just cut off his income at a certain point, you don't need that much money. Nobody needs that much money. You just put like a cap on the income, and then when it runs over that cap, from that point onwards, all of that money will just go back into the government, and it wouldn't just be income; it would be like profits. So you could like spend that money to do something else to like further increase your profits. You know, you could spend, I don't know, but like you wouldn't be essentially losing money at any point because it would be based on profits, not on income.
What about
that amount of money
other?
would just be able to pay for all of it, really.
What about other budgets like defense and?
Well, I want to slice the defense budget. I mean, we can get onto that later because that's
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like in like war and stuff. I think
yeah.
that'll be a
We'll
good
get
topic
onto that
then.
later, but just know that
Okay.
that's part of how it would be paid for as well. Because
I'm very happy to switch topics if everyone is done now.
I feel like I'm done. Can we have a look at the poll?
Yeah,
Has
sure.
everyone voted in the poll?
Yeah, Archie, you haven't voted. Please vote.
Oh shit! I
Who is
accidentally
that?
left the channel. That was me. I'm smart.
Right. Wait, what was your question? Go on.
Wait, someone have a question?
I think unmute Matt.
Yeah, Matthew.
Matthew, what's your question?
Joe, what are these social programs you keep mentioning?
Well, you know, just the kind of the programs we already have now, but expanded. So it would include
Like-
like mental health care, and you
Oh,
and,
right,
like,
okay.
and like maybe disability care, like things like that.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to
You know
clear
what
it
I
up.
mean?
Okay.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give you loads of examples.
No more questions?
Anyone?
Guns
Oh, you
in the
wanted to
hands
talk
of the mentally ill.
Well, they wouldn't be mentally ill. That's the point. If they were like too far mentally ill, essentially, then they wouldn't get guns. But they would still get a lot of help from the government and people who maybe have some issues.
Yeah.
But like that would mean that, you know, right now they can't have a gun, but through therapy and whatever kind of, you know, mental health care, they could get to the point where they would be trusted owning a gun. You know,
Okay.
like they're not monsters. Like they know what they're doing. It's just that sometimes they can't control certain things about the brain. But therapy or whatever can help with that. You know, like medication, anything
Yeah.
like that. As long as they're trusted, that's the point.
Okay. Just wanted to clear that up.
Right? Is that it? Is everyone?
So-
That's all the questions.
Okay. Thank you for all your questions and thank you for your responses. Moving on to the next question.
Wait,
Would
did you
we
want
better? Yeah, sure. Announce the polls first.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Right, okay. So, in who do you agree with? Jack got 2 votes, Joel got 1 vote, and there were 2 votes for either both or neither. And then who won question 1 was unanimously in favour of Jack.
What? How?
I crashed and burned on the first bloody
You barely
point. How?
spoke.
Because
That's bullshit.
I can't speak for everyone, but I might have something to do with the fact that you're gun law, that you're chatting shit about them. Right, let's move on.
Okay, right.
You're supposed to be neutral, Josh.
I'm neutral, yeah.
Alright, would we be better in the EU or out of the EU? Yeah, this is the quintessential Brexit
Right, Jack.
question.
Jack, you go first.
So, who went
I'll go
first last
first.
time?
I went
okay.
first.
Go for it. You have the floor.
Definitely out. The EU is inept at anything that's not trade. We've barely done anything to stop. I mean, Belarus, a country that's next to European countries, their opposition party just disappeared, got kidnapped, never been seen again. We've not done anything about that. Turkey's not been happening because of the bloody veto system. It's horrible and inept, and we should be out of it.
I think, like, I mean, to be honest, I'd kind of go either way on this. It's not really a thing that is massively important to me. It's not something that I have a very strong opinion on. But if I had to, I would probably say that we'd be better off staying in. I mean, the EU is shit. We can both agree on that. But
yeah,
it does bring a lot of money into our economy currently. And again, we probably wouldn't, if we managed to achieve what I want in a society, we wouldn't need the EU to be bringing money in. So at that point, yeah, we could leave. Like, it wouldn't really affect me, or it wouldn't really affect us in that kind of society. But
yeah,
as it stands right now, we're better off in it than out of it.
that's you.
Right, go at it.
Okay, poll and chat beforehand.
Do you have any problems with what I said, Jack?
Do you want to go first? Because you basically down neutral, so anything you want to question me?
Well, I mean, no, because I kind of just agree with you on that. Like, everything you said was true, but I just think that the fact that you think we should leave, I think that the impact it has on our economy, the very, very positive impact it has, is enough to sort of override all that.
But you can get that from, like, Japan. They've got massive economy. We've just signed a deal with Sri Lanka or Singapore to get us into the East Asian market. You can there's plenty of trade we can do with them to recover the trade loss with the EU.
What was that? We signed a deal with who?
It was either Singapore or Sri Lanka, one of the two.
Singapore. I'll look up Singapore. UK signs free trade deal with Singapore.
Which is always good. They're quite a big economy around there.
Cover trade of more than 18 billion euros even a year. Well, not an existing agreement. As far as I can see, this seems good. I mean, I've not really had much of a chance to read over it.
It's
but
break into the East Asian market. I mean, Japan's got a massive economy.
Yeah.
China as well, you know.
Yeah, but the problem with like places like China is that trading with them, you're essentially supporting a very
It's morally bad. What you
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah, but we buy oil from the Saudis. We're hardly
But
morally
we
good.
shouldn't. That's what
No,
I'm
but
saying.
we do.
I know we
Well,
do, but we shouldn't.
I mean, we trade them guns as well. Let's be honest here.
Exactly, and we shouldn't.
I think the world of economics is not a place for morals. Let's just
No.
say.
Well, I think that it can be
Explain.
I think you're an idealist, Joel.
by enforcing it. Yeah, I am, but also all of my ideas are kind of reasonable within sort of a one lifetime period to implement.
Right, yeah.
Very bold claims.
I mean,
there.
we're not exactly gonna like fucking elect Jeremy Corbyn and then we're
Definitely not.
in this world
No, his
that I
political career's
want.
over.
That's not how it works. I mean, I don't even like Jeremy Corbyn. But that's not the point. We're not going to elect someone and this happens. It's going to be a long period of time, or a revolution.
All right, Mark, calm down.
I'm more in favour of the long period of time because less people would die.
Fair enough. But you'd have more guns for your gun laws
Ah.
in a revolution.
It's worth it. I like guns. I want a gun.
Right. Considering
That was kind of really short.
that we're not really talking about the EU anymore, yeah, it's a short one. Does anyone else? Yeah. Does anyone else have any questions about the EU?
Yeah, just a quick one.
All right.
Go on.
Joel, you didn't really clarify very much. Do you feel as strongly about the corruption in the EU as Jack does?
The corruption.
You know,
I feel
all
as
of it.
strongly about the corruption as Jack does, yeah. But the thing is, I feel like corruption in our own government is more important. So, and if our own government's corrupt, then it doesn't matter whether we're in the EU or not. That's what I think.
Okay. Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I think the EU makes fucking stupid decisions, like Article 13, and that was a big one.
Don't forget the Macedonia incident. Sorry, Northern Macedonia incident.
What was that again?
So basically, the North Macedonia wanted to join, so they changed the whole constitution and everything, and then France vetoed them, so they can't.
Oh.
That's a bit fucking shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
remember
EU's a
watching
pile
an
of shit, but
Yeah.
currently, again, like this is currently in the world we live in right now, we're better off in it. That's what I think. I think you did raise some good points. So, and like I said, I'm willing to change my opinion on that. Definitely, I'll just have to look into it a lot more.
All right.
It's just not something I'm.
It's cool.
Right.
I think that
Does
would
anyone
reach
have any
a
fucking
conclusion
questions for Jack?
Not
Just
really.
sit quietly in the back.
You can elaborate on Belarus if you want.
Belarus situation. So the president's running for power. Basically, the guy's been in charge of Belarus since it came from the USSR, and he's won every single, and they use heavy quotations, democratic election
Yeah, like
in
North
Belarus. And he won this one, and then the opposition party were causing a lot of protests. Then the leader of it was walking down the street, van pulls up, masked men come out, grab her, she's never been seen since. A press secretary releases a statement. A few hours later, he disappears, along with the rest of her team and a lot of the other high-ranking politicians in that party. They've not been heard of since.
And that's not like a conspiracy theory. That's all.
That happened. Yes.
100% true. Okay.
Yes.
There
was literally a press release about the person that had done the press release saying that she'd been kidnapped of him
and is
being
that
taken.
like the EU's done fuck all about it then? Is that
Yeah, they were planning to, and then Cyprus vetoed it because he wanted more attention on Turkey.
Yeah.
And then when they put attention on Turkey, the Eastern European countries veto it because they want more attention on Belarus.
But again,
Rinse and repeat.
I would say the problem isn't just with the EU in that sense. It's just
I think it's the veto thing's the main problem with the EU.
It's a fundamental problem with big governments.
Yeah.
So with something like the EU, that's just a fundamental problem with it. And if you I feel like if you're happy with the government we're in right now, or at least if we have it, it doesn't really hurt us anymore to be in another sort in like a multinational union like the EU.
Fair enough. Yeah. I think it's a good idea to be in a multinational union. I just don't think the EU's what it needs.
Yeah,
to
like
be.
something like the United Nations is.
Yeah. I think I'm not against European cooperation. That's good. I just don't think the EU is what it needs to be.
Well, again, I just think that's a fundamental problem with big governments.
Yeah.
That anything like that is going to be like that. It's going to be that bad. So.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Post
the poll. No, before that, only 3 people voted on that current poll we've got. What's happened to Declan and Isaac?
You're taking this very seriously, Josh.
We need the results. We need the results.
I mean, the results are bullshit.
Because I won the last round somehow.
Unanimous.
Mate, Biden's stealing this election as well.
Am I the Biden in this?
I guess.
Does that make you Trump?
Oh,
So,
no.
I mean, I am anti-establishment, so.
But that's the only thing you've got in common with Trump.
I mean, yeah, I do hate him, so.
Yeah.
Let's
But
go.
whatever, you know. I'm Trump, sure.
We've heard it here first, Joel.
What are the results of the poll then?
A vote for Joel is a vote for Trump.
Right. While we are waiting for our poll results.
Alright, that's what I was about to say.
Anyway, while we're waiting for our poll results, I'll announce the next topic.
Alright.
Right. Okay. On the who do you agree with section of this?
Is that the first part beforehand?
Yeah, there's 2 votes for Jack, 2 votes for both, and 1 vote for Joel. And the results for this one are there seems to only be 2 votes so far. So
Just wait a bit.
send them in: Matthew, Archie, Isaac, Declan.
Name and shame. Anyway, while we're waiting for those people to vote, I'll just talk about what this question's about because it's a bit vague. Okay, what is the modern equality movement getting right and wrong? So, basically we're talking about sort of diversity, like Me Too, LGBT, Black Lives Matter. Sort of like, what are they? Because there's a lot. I mean, obviously, I mean, I'm sure both of you agree with this. I'm gonna assume that no one here is like a massive racist. But what it can
Think again. Well, I mean, Joel's drunk.
all agree that like that racism
we've
is
established
bad.
Joel's Trump, so I'm not too sure.
I thought you said Joel's drunk.
No, Joel's Trump. We've probably established your Trump, so we're not too sure.
Anyway, I'm sure you're all fine with like Black Lives Matter and like black people like are not evil monsters.
Well,
Basically,
Black Lives Matter is something we could talk about though, because not everyone.
But
agrees with
That's
that.
interesting.
I think
yeah.
that
The
Black Lives
movement
Matter
itself.
would be a good springboard for you too, because it's
It
I
is
would say
vague,
that
yeah.
it's controversial because it's not being led by like a good like an authority. It's more of like a social movement, so it has pros and cons you can both talk about.
Yeah.
Like obviously no one's gonna say
I'm happy to
that.
start with that, if you want, Jack.
Okay,
Can I go first in this one?
wait before we start. Have we got an update on the polls, Josh?
The results we've still only got 3 votes in.
Oh, another one's coming. Good.
Who isn't voting?
We've not got Matthew's vote and I've not got Declan's vote.
Fucking vote!
Matthew, what are you doing?
vote.
Matthew,
I'm going to
vote.
assume I'm not here
Declan,
anymore.
vote.
Yeah, Archie thinks he can get away with not listening to the debate by just sitting in the thing.
You've heard our stances.
I'm going to see if anyone's put anything in the chat. Isaac said, absolutely buzzing, go Salisbury. And Declan said,
What?
Okay, very cool.
just loads of bees. Right, I'll just start on the next topic then. I'm waiting for them to fucking put that one in. Shall I?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, for it.
Right. I mean, if we're using Black Lives Matter as like a starting point, I think that there's certainly people who are part of the movement who have done things wrong, but the movement as a whole is definitely a good movement. Like, I think we can all agree we don't want the police beating the shit out of people on the street.
Definitely not.
Or like kneeling on their neck until they die. So yeah, I mean that's kind of it really. I support them. I support the movement. And but I do think that there's, in regards to other sort of equality stuff, things like diversity quotas, not good.
Isn't that just in hiring based on race?
Yeah, I mean, I think that affirmative action. You know what affirmative action is, right?
Remind me again.
It's like if you have a black guy and a white guy, and they have the exact same qualifications, like they're basically as qualified, you should hire the black guy.
No, well,
Right.
which one's a better fit for you? If you've got the same qualifications, which one gets on better with the staff they're working with?
Well, yeah, I mean this is the point, right? So if that would also be
There's more that goes
if
into a
it's
job of
literally a split
qualifications.
decision, if it is literally 100% split decision, right? I think that's okay for now, because at the moment there is definitely a problem with black people being often more impoverished than white people.
Yeah,
which is a result of, because in history they weren't treated the same, which meant that they were poor in history, and because even though all those sort of laws have been removed now, the effects of them still last, because people,
traditionalism's still around.
Usually if your dad's poor, you're also poor, right?
Yeah.
If your dad's rich, you're rich. It's just kind of how it works.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Yeah.
So they've just sort of, black communities have stayed impoverished, and I think that for now, to help them, it's kind of a solution to that for the time being, but it would obviously have to stop in the future when it's not really a problem anymore, because then it would be an advantage for black people. But I do think that better solutions would just be solutions that help all poor people and all poor neighborhoods, because that would still just help the black neighborhoods. And also, non-binary people are valid.
Fair enough.
Right, what do you?
My turn.
I don't know. It was really long. Sorry.
Yeah. Fair enough. The thing of Black Lives Matter, definitely good. The organisation, because it was around a lot before the George Floyd stuff.
Oh yeah.
The organisation, they're behind it, bit dodgy. They've been linked to a lot of cop killers and I'm pretty sure
Like
if you
that,
have links to more extremist
I forgot
groups.
her name, but yeah,
But
the cop killer who like is still on the loose or whatever.
Yeah, but
It's like Natasha something or whatever.
Yeah, but then there's the movement's idea is good. I'm just not too sure on the people that are behind the movements in the if you get me meaning there.
Yeah, the organisations and stuff, I think,
Yeah,
kind of bullshit. But it's
Yeah,
just the movement itself and because
what it stands for is
people
good.
don't even most people don't even interact who
Yeah.
support Black Lives Matter don't actually interact with
Yeah.
the organisations.
Yeah, what it stands for is it's good.
Yeah, the organisations are just there to kind of fund things.
Yeah, but
so,
stuff like what you were talking about with I don't think there should be stuff like I feel like the best way to combat racism is just treat everyone exactly the same, as in just hire people based on how skilled they are, and don't have maybe not even put people's skin colour and stuff like that in TVs or stuff like that. Hire based on skill and stuff like that instead of
I think
people.
I think that like that would be the best solution to just not
Yeah.
have that. But the thing is, if you go to an interview, they're gonna know
Yeah.
your race, right?
Yeah, no.
So
yeah,
putting in
yeah.
affirmative action so that if they are literally the same,
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily enforce it, but I would encourage business owners to do it.
So, and I
If
think
if it is
though,
literally a split decision, hire
Yeah.
the person who
Yeah.
is
If
a
it's-
minority. So if it's like an Asian guy and a white guy, white people are generally more poor, so maybe hire the white guy.
Yeah.
That kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I think if it's very rare it's a complete switch decision, because I don't think qualification should be the be all and end all, and especially if they've both got the exact same. There should be how well did they interact with the team? How well did they do with the situation? How
Yeah.
in practice, how good are they? If they're completely the exact same, then not too sure. What to do there,
it's a rare scenario if they're completely the exact same. So
Yeah.
that's why I would only really support it in that. It's
Yeah.
a very rare scenario. So most of the
Yeah.
time, it's better off to just generally help impoverished
Yeah.
communities rather than
But,
specifically go, I'm going to help black people.
Yeah. But the point you didn't talk about was which I'd like to get your opinion on, is the stuff like the people claiming that only people from certain heritage can dress in a certain way or have the hairstyles in a certain way.
Yeah, cultural
Because in my opinion, that's bullshit.
yeah,
But what's your
cultural
opinion?
appropriation's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
That's all bullshit.
Yeah,
one
because
thing
it's just
I
segregation racism, let's be honest here.
Yeah, it is.
It's
One-
often, what makes me laugh, it's white people saying, no, you can't do that.
Yeah,
This
like,
is only,
like
this is
basically
only
white
for this
knighting
group.
for-
You're not
for
from that group. Why are
black
you
people of
speaking
colour.
for them?
It's Twitter.
Yeah,
It is kind of
Twitter is
more on
just a
Twitter, but
cesspool.
it does happen in real life, but it's not really common.
No.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you, right?
I think it's
What do you
Twitter and
think
college
about-
campuses.
What do you think about trans children?
Oh,
Ooh.
it's a weird, because don't get me wrong, it's thing I can see for trans rights. We get obviously,
Yeah.
But I suppose the argument is, do children fully understand? Do you get what I mean? As they do, they understand the decision they're making. Is it?
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
thing is, it's not necessarily them making the decision.
No, it's not as well. It's the parents.
No, but it's like you take them to a psychologist. I'm
Oh, yeah,
for
so-
it,
yeah.
by the way. If you don't know,
Yeah, are you?
I'm
I'm
arguing
not-
for it.
I will admit I'm not well versed on this, so I will
Yeah,
admit I've
yeah,
not properly. I've not properly researched this. I will admit.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'm just going to tell you what
Yeah.
I think, and you can tell
Fair
me
enough.
if you have any problems with it. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that like having some kind of sex change surgery is not appropriate because it's
For child.
irreversible.
Yeah.
But if a child appears to be sort of trans or thinks they're trans, you
Yeah.
can take them to a therapist who is trained, or a psychologist, whatever,
Yeah.
a therapist. And they will essentially you can work with them, the parents, the child, and the healthcare system can all work together to try and work out whether this child should go through it. And if there's like they're pretty sure they will, then you can put them on hormone blockers, because hormone blockers are fully reversible. I think there's been several studies done on it, but I saw one. I wish I could cite it, but do you mind if I don't cite the study? I'm just going to tell you what it says. And you'll have to
Yeah, that's
believe me.
fine. That's fine.
It was something like I think it was 95% of people who go on hormone blockers in their teens end up then transitioning because the system is good enough that that happens. And that 5%, the only effects that were noted were that they were, and this is just estimating because you can't actually know, they were estimated to be roughly half an inch to an inch shorter than they would have otherwise been, the males.
Yeah.
No effects for the females, but the males were just slightly shorter than they would have been.
Is this height?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Not penis size.
Yeah, it'd be a bit weird if the
Let me just get our tape measure.
yeah,
Pull
one
your pants
second.
down. Right.
We promise this is for a scientific study. Promise.
But yeah, I think putting them on hormone blockers, it lets them sort of mature more, and then they can decide when they have. I know they've not gone through puberty because they blocked it. That's the point.
Yeah.
But they still have a matured brain because
Yeah.
it doesn't block your brain from developing.
Yeah.
The only part it blocks, because people say it blocks brain development, the only part it blocks is the part that releases like gender-based hormones.
Yeah.
So I think doing that so that they can mature and then they can make the decision because they're old enough, or like they're not necessarily old enough to make it on their own, but when they've had all this support and then like
Yeah.
they're like 16 or 15 or whatever, and then they say, yeah, I'm trans, right?
Yeah.
Then like, yeah, you should allow them to go on like the hormones of the opposite sex.
You want any argument for me? That all seems sound, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's all.
I mean,
I said
if anyone
did
if
no
anyone in the
research,
call
so-
has any problems with that, then you can ask me a question now.
I have a question.
Mhm.
I'm asking this to both of you, by the way.
Okay.
What is your opinion
You can
on
answer first, Jack.
the Black coward on the Black Lives? Just kidding. What is your opinion on the Black Lives Matter and similar movements pulling down statues of past slave owners? Do you think that this is justified?
I'll
Go ahead.
take this one because it is something I'm quite interested in. Because obviously I've got interest in history.
Yeah, go for
I
it.
think if stuff like the Bristolians example of a person that was just known for being a slave trader, that's fine. We shouldn't particularly have a statue of him up. But take a more local example, the Robert Peel statue in Bury. People wanted that down because he was racist. But I think when looking at a person's morals, you should definitely look at it not obviously look at it from our perspective, but also remember that what time period they grew up in and stuff like that. And he grew up in a completely different time period. I mean, put it this way: there have been political ideologies that weren't around when he was growing, when Peel was around. Our morals have completely shifted, and I don't think you can properly judge a person based on the morals. Based on nowadays, you need to look at him on their morals as well. And I don't think obviously, if they're just known for being a slave trader or something that's equally got racist connotations, take it down. But if they're known for something else and they just happen to be racist because of the time period they're in, I don't think it should be.
Right, that's fair.
Right.
I think
Okay.
I basically agree. I want to answer it as well, really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack, I think I basically agree with you. I just disagree with how it would be done. I think that if it seems like there's a lot of people who are riled up about these statues, right? Just like the local councils of people who live in the area should just take a vote, just post things.
Yeah.
Say, do you want this statue up or not? If they don't, take it down, take it down properly.
Yeah.
Don't pull it down.
Yeah,
get a
definitely not
to
mob
pull it
rule.
down.
I'm not saying just unleash the mobs on a statue and
Yeah.
take it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a vote, and if the vote is in favour of taking it down, then stick it in
Yeah.
a museum or whatever with like a little
Yeah.
plaque saying, statue of this person, it was voted to be taken down due to this.
Speaking of the plaque, actually, what you can do for people that you want to have statues of, but are also quite racist, you can always just have a plaque saying, although he's great, although he invented the police force, he was a bit racist. Just because he's
Yeah.
got a statue,
But I mean,
doesn't
like,
mean you have to hide what they. You know what I mean?
yeah, but then again, like as an example, if I live here, let's say in the middle of fucking Heaton Park,
Yeah.
there's a big statue of Hitler, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, you could put a plaque on it that says,
Yeah.
Hitler was a bad man. This statue's just here because it's a piece of history.
Yeah.
But I would
But
still,
he's
I would
not
still
a-
want it taken down.
Yeah. But Heaton
But I wouldn't want
Park's
it
not where like
destroyed.
Hitler grew up, for example. Hitler didn't come from Heaton Park.
I know, but
If there was a
right, well, if we
and also,
lived in Germany, that's what I mean.
and also said if like a slave trader, if they're known for just being a racist, like if Oswald, if someone put erect a statue like Oswald Mosley, for example, or something like that, then obviously not. And if someone puts a statue of Oswald Mosley up, fair enough.
Yeah.
If they're known for just being a racist arsehole, the statue should like the Bristol slave trader.
Yeah,
If,
but
if
like,
they're known for
so,
just doing something based,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you think that those statues should be taken down, right? But
And-
would you still put it up to a vote?
I would still
See
put
what
it up to a
everyone
vote
says.
if.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
that's my thing. For me, it's just like
the community.
personally,
They have to look at it. They can decide.
personally, it's a statue. Like for me, it
Yeah.
doesn't bother me. To be honest, even if there was a statue of Hitler, like I wouldn't care.
It
Like,
just. I mean, they got one of Margaret
you know
Thatcher
why it's
coming
there.
up soon.
But I get it. I get that it bothers some people. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the thing, Joel. Because you hate Thatcher. Are you bothered by the Margaret Thatcher statue?
We will leave
uh,
that topic
no, I'm not
No,
later.
we're on
bothered by any
statues now.
statue.
I want his opinion.
I'm not bothered by any statues.
We'll talk about that
Like,
later.
Fair enough.
I don't. It just doesn't. I don't care about them.
Fair
Unless like a
enough.
giant statue of a cock in someone's arse.
No,
Well-
that'd be fun. Just imagine walking past that.
Anyway,
It would actually,
right,
That'd
Right.
be brilliant.
Josh.
I've got a question for you.
Okay.
Should black people receive reparations for slavery?
No, because no one alive has taken part in slavery. Well, some people have, but you know what I mean. As in,
I get.
slavery still exists. But
Consensual
I
slavery.
get the sentiment behind it. Like I understand it, why people want
But-
to do it, but it's just not.
it's very
it's
North
not-
Korean, isn't it? You
it's
must
not a
pay
feasible-
for your grandparents' crimes.
Yeah, it's not a feasible solution, really. Like, even if I agreed with it, which I don't really, I get why people want to do it, but it's just not feasible. It can't be done because you'd have to track back everyone's history to see whose ancestors owned slaves. You'd have to track everyone's history back to see who is the descendant of a slave.
But also, where does it stop? Do you want the Italians to pay reparations to
Yeah,
all English
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
Roman slavery?
It's like if someone came up to me and said, "I think that black people should get reparations," I'd be like, "That's very nice of you, but no."
But also as well,
can't do it.
But also as well,
And
why
it's
is
not
I
a
suppose
good
the example
solution.
of the Ottomans had slaves for years.
Yeah, I mean, there's
A lot
there's
of them were
slavery
Spanish.
throughout all of history. Like,
Yeah,
if you go back far enough, one of your ancestors was probably a slave to someone.
Yeah,
So
most
it's
likely.
not really worth.
I mean the Barbary Coast got everywhere, even bloody Iceland.
And I mean, even if you took it as like, because I would say like, I kind of disagree with you there because the effect of slavery on blacks still has
Yeah,
like
no,
a ripple effect today.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
I just called them blacks.
the
Joe
blacks.
Biden. No, yeah, it's had like a ripple effect to today, but it's too late now. At the time, I would have been like, yeah, make the slave masters pay the slaves.
Yeah, but no
But
one's grown
not
up
now.
as a slave
It
master.
can't be done.
No one you've not grown up in a slave plantation.
Hmm. Like we got enough tax money. You could use
Yeah.
some of that and to create, not just to give them money. That's not going to
Yeah.
fix it. Well, you know
Plus-
what I mean.
Another thing we've not mentioned is black education schools teaching more black history. Good or bad thing?
I think that Black history. What do you mean, Black?
Well, because there's been a lot of things about black history not being taught enough.
Uh,
I mean, Holy Cross has recently done a thing where they've
I think-
put like a lot of black figures in like pictures and stuff like that. We had a whole Black History Month in
right.
history lesson.
there's this guy. He was on Joe Rogan. I don't know what he was fucking called, but he said
Joe
he was
Rogan?
talking about this. He was on Joe Rogan, yeah. And I'm not citing him or anything. I forgot what he's called. He's like a guy who he goes to like Klan rallies and tries to stop Ku Klux
Oh,
Klan.
I've heard of him. Yeah,
Yeah, and he's black.
he was on Russell Howard. I remember.
Yeah,
I got
and-
it from the Russell
And
Howard.
he said he thinks that they should get rid of Black History Month because it basically means
it is
that
slightly racist.
instead of I mean I get it, like I get why it's
Yeah,
there,
but he's
it,
understanding. But
it basically means that instead of talking about Black history all the rest of the time, they like
It's
save
that 1
it
month.
and then they cram it all in that 1 month.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the time they're like, right, no Black history because we got to save that for Black History Month. If
yeah.
you get rid of it, then they'll teach it all year round, like
Yeah.
whenever it's necessary, whenever it's appropriate, you know.
Because my opinion is, take the English example. I'm going to use English because it's the one I know, obviously. I think we should see. I think when it comes to history, countries should teach their history. But the important thing to understand is British history doesn't mean white history. There's been a lot of important
exactly.
black British people.
But
I think it shouldn't just be
think like you should teach whatever.
it shouldn't
is
just be a
important.
month. It should just be taught into normal stuff.
Yeah.
Like what is the one topic? Do something on the Windrush generation. but as in that's a thing you'll get tested
Or
on.
the
You know,
Windrush
like
scandal.
yeah,
That's
stuff
what I'm
like,
going to talk about later.
Is it?
I've got notes on that. Right, we'll talk about that later.
I'm not sure
I've got
when.
no notes, so
It'll be fine.
yeah.
Right. Is that everyone?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I kind of
And
agree
now,
with Jack on everything there, really.
Yay. What were
Alright.
the vote?
And
What,
he
what,
agrees with me.
what are the polls saying? 'Cause we never got an update for the last one.
Right, the
The
poll
poll
for
for this one doesn't really matter because we both just agree on
Yeah,
everything.
the poll-
We both just went yes.
the poll for question 2, Joel got 2 votes, no clear winner got 2 votes, Jack got 1 vote, so there you go.
Oh.
Which one
Narrow
was that?
orange.
That was Brexit.
That was
The
EU,
second
yeah.
one, yeah. Let's go.
The
Um,
European facts.
And the what do you agree with one? Lewis and Matthew haven't bloody voted.
I honestly think that.
oh shit.
I honestly think that whatever the vote is on this one, it's literally
Doesn't matter.
pointless because we agree. So
Yeah,
just
and
went
the,
yes.
who,
bother.
Put me down
the
for
who
no
won
clear
the
winner.
3 for no clear winner and 1 for Joel. So yeah,
What,
if you want to, if you
Is that on this
if
one?
you don't, yeah, if you don't want to count that point
No,
as
I'm
a
not accepting that as a win because Jack, like, I mean, I guess technically I won because I just explained trans children to Jack, and now he agrees with me.
I had no clue what it was about.
Yeah, because
I can't remember
because
what
in
it
right
was.
wing media they always make it out like they're taking these kids and they're chopping their cocks off, but it's not like that at all.
The left wants to take
Including
away
the
your
girls.
penis. Right. Anyway, that's that. We're gonna move on to the next topic now. Also, actually, I'm gonna ask Josh this. Basically, I might have to go for my tea soon. So what do we do then?
right.
That's brilliant.
Shit show.
Josh could be the guy who does the questions.
Hang
I mean-
on. Just a little
Yeah,
time out for a minute.
Right.
Oh,
We'll have a
time.
break, okay.
yeah.
If you want, I can send you the link to the PowerPoint.
No, we'll have a break.
Okay, that's
Are
fair
we
enough.
having a break now?
No, not yet.
Okay.
When
Hang on.
Can I
I
quickly
need-
ask, whatever happened to speak like in Parliament? Because I've been swearing like
Okay,
an old
I
person.
can just switch it to another scene and turn the audio off on the stream.
Right, it's fine. Okay, next question. Is Boris Johnson's new climate change good enough? Basically, it doesn't have to be about Boris Johnson's climate change plan specifically, which is like some 10-point plan.
It can just be about climate change in general.
It can be about climate change in general.
Okay.
Nuclear energy, talk about that, for instance. Yeah, I'm sure you all know a lot about this, since you're both very cool. So, who wants to start? Give us
Jack,
2
Okay.
minutes.
Jack, you should probably start because you know about
I know
Boris
bugger all.
Johnson's
Yeah.
climate plan. I
so,
didn't even know he had a climate plan until this, so...
I didn't either until I saw that, and I meant to research it but forgot.
Oh, right.
Fine.
I've got 1 second. I have it on my
you
phone.
have
though.
it up.
I have it up on my phone.
I'll
Give
look,
us a
right,
second.
I'll just... While you're getting that up, I'll just say...
No, I have it up now.
Oh, alright.
Climatehome.news has got me covered.
Okay. Don't just read it all out loud, right? Just say what you think of
You
it.
speak. I'll quickly read, then I'll interject
Okay.
when I've got something.
I read through it. It seems okay. Like it seems like it's there's not really anything negative coming out of it as far as I can tell. I mean, unless I misread it or something. But it doesn't really say much. Like as far as I could see, and again, unless I missed it, it doesn't say much about sort of reducing the carbon output from big businesses in any way. Because like for example, I think it's. Hang on, I've actually got the stat in my notes. 1 sec. Here we go. 100 companies were responsible for 70% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions. And that was since 1978, I think. Or something like that. So, like, why is there nothing in there about big businesses? I'll tell you why. Because...
Tories.
Also, big businesses are just switch naturally when it becomes profitable, let's be honest here. The second it becomes unprofitable to use natural gases, they'll go, alright,
But it's not...
we'll invest in
It's
eco.
not
Well, we're running out of
profitable.
natural gases, so they'll eventually cost out.
Well, they'll find more, though. Like,
So what you're
we've been
saying...
running out the whole time, essentially.
So, just what I want to suggest.
Yeah, you want me to clarify?
I want you to clarify. Do you think that the government should make it unprofitable for businesses, i.e.,
yeah, I
using
think
lots
a
of tax?
tax on CO2 or something.
I mean, there probably already is, but like basically increase it.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm not a climatologist and I'm also not a politician. I'm not sure exactly how it would be done, but there needs to be some kind of greater enforcement on businesses to stop them from polluting the earth, essentially.
So right now you
It's
feel
not
like
working.
it's not good enough.
Yeah, and it also needs to sort of be a global effort, like, because we could do like, this is, I'm paraphrasing fucking Bernie Sanders here. We could do everything right tomorrow, right? Tomorrow we could completely switch to solar energy, and everyone could have electric cars, and we could stop using fucking plastic straws or whatever, right? And we're producing no greenhouse gases, but that will have zero effect. I mean, not zero, but minimal effect, unless we also get America, China, Russia, fucking every country in the world, essentially, to agree with us.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough point.
it's a difficult problem to solve. We know how to solve it, like, we know the steps we need to take, but it's getting the other countries to take those steps, and getting our own government to take those steps, really, which no one wants to fucking do because it's bad for business.
Right.
What do you think,
Alright.
Jack?
You pretty much summed up my. I said I did argue that I think that eventually a lot of big oil companies will turn into the big eco energy
I
companies.
disagree with that. I mean, we can talk about that if
Do
you
you?
want.
I will admit once again, I'm not too. To be
Yeah.
honest, my research into climate change is me reading what ER has to say half the time.
Yeah,
whilst laughing
mine
at-
is me
whilst
looking
laughing
outside
at
and going, oh,
what
it's
their
warmer this
protests.
year than last year.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's rained a shite some more. There's now flooding a lot more, but
Yeah, but it's not real, though. It's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy, Jack.
if it's global warming, why is it now colder?
Oh.
Explain that one.
why do we still have winter?
Explain that one.
Explain that, globe heads.
Thank you, Max Sargent.
You're welcome. What was I even going to say? Oh, yeah. I don't think businesses are going to do that, because I think they care more about their short-term profits, and I don't think it's really anytime soon going to become more profitable to use, like, renewable energy. But I also think that nuclear energy is a very good option.
Oh, nuclear energy is definitely the way to go.
Just because, like, and again, it's going to cause problems for us in the very far future. Really, I mean, because, like, what the fuck do we do with the waste? But,
Bombs.
No.
Send it to Mars.
I'm in favour
I don't know
of
how
personal
nuclear
nukes for
works.
everyone. No.
Yeah, more nukes for everyone. We'll do the exact opposite of Tony Blair.
I think the bombs, not the bombs. You got it in my head now. I can't even speak.
Yes, I've won.
Nuclear energy is the best option we have right now because it's profitable, so it works in a capitalist society, which is not something I necessarily want, but it's what I live in, so I have to cope with that. So it works in a capitalist society because it's profitable and it's not. It's kind of like easy to do, as long as we have like, as long as there is sort of enforcement on how it's disposed of the waste.
Yeah.
I
We're not just
assume that's
dumping it in the
already
sea.
done. But basically we just need to sort of keep it stored until one day we'll become a galactic civilization and we'll just dump it all on Pluto. 'Cause
Why
who
not
needs
Uranus?
Pluto? Well, they'll just dump it somewhere that like is inhospitable. Like it doesn't really.
Or we can use it to weaponize it to fight aliens.
Maybe. We'll see.
It's the most human way, isn't it? Let's be honest.
It's the kind of problem that isn't going to be an issue for like at least the next 200 years.
We don't need
so-
to worry about it, which is what you're saying.
Basically,
We just need to
we
make
got-
sure that everyone else is aware of it so that it can be planned for.
But even if it's not, we're all long dead. We'll all be long dead, so we should be fine.
That is a
We'll
good
be fine.
attitude to have.
Yes, as long as
Anyway.
it doesn't affect me, I'm fine.
Oh dear.
Conservative.
You're not wrong.
So basically,
We've established that.
with nuclear waste, we're gambling on the fact that by the time the waste is going to become an issue, we'll have the technology to just send it somewhere that no one is ever going to find it, like the
Pretty
moon
much.
or Mars or
Yeah,
somewhere
but like
like
it's
that.
not. It just isn't going to be an issue because
Or
like
we can send it. Or we can send it somewhere we won't miss, like Slough either.
yeah,
We can just
I'm happy.
Dump it all on Slough.
I'm in favour of taking Slough,
Yeah. Burnley.
making it a big hole.
Yeah.
Make Slough a big
Scunthorpe.
hole that we dump it
Or
all in.
Scunthorpe.
Or Scunthorpe, yeah.
Or
Scunthorpe's funny because it
Millwall.
has cunt
Millwall's
in
the
the
other
name.
shithole.
Oh
Anyway,
God.
Yeah, I
Right,
mean,
no,
it's not going to be a problem for a very, very, very long time, and we will have the technology to dispose of it by then.
To
We will.
dig a hole at Slough and
100%
dump
we
it all
will.
in.
Right, seems you both agree with each other on nuclear energy. Any other bones to pick with each other about like climate change and stuff? It's fine if you don't.
Really, I mean, I think it's.
I mean, yeah,
you know.
climate change is one of those topics that's.
Jack, do you think it's real?
Of course it's
There
real.
you go. Right,
There
we're
you
agreed
go.
on then. Honestly,
Right.
as long as you think it's real, I don't care what you think. Like,
Oh,
as long as you...
what do you make of groups like ER? That's an interesting point. That's not that exactly.
I don't know what that is. What's that?
Extinction Rebellion.
Extinction Rebellion do
Oh.
that. Go for it.
They're the ones that like climbed
Aye.
on top of. Have you ever read about them? They're hilarious. They're the ones who climbed on top of Big Ben.
Why?
I don't
Or,
fucking know.
One of the leaders claims that all men are the problem to climate change.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
remember
I
that.
saw that. Oh, I'm getting off topic here, but I'm just gonna say this. I saw an article that was like, climate change is a feminist issue. Like, what? Are you
I
alright?
think,
It affects
in-
men too. Like, what?
in my opinion, I think ER is. Have you ever heard of those groups that often big businesses will do, where they just get the most mentally insane people, pay them a lot of money, and pretend to be an activist group to make all other activist groups look bad? It's happened a few times, and I wouldn't be surprised if ER was one of them.
Oh god.
It's happened a few times where they've just made their own activist group, which is so shit and so bad that no one wants to associate with those activists, and it
Okay,
hurts everyone else in the activism thing.
I think we'll
so
just
are
call
you
it a day there because, like, we're...
are you both?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're both on agreement on Extinction Rebellion.
Yeah.
Not that they're all a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again,
It turned out like the last one I did.
no
where we just
real
agreed
point
on
in the poll here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, go for it then.
everything. Seems so depressed.
We're gonna get to it, like, oh god, when we get to Margaret Thatcher.
Or Northern devolution, I reckon.
Don't
got a
get
lot to say
excited
about that
about that.
Let me
Aw.
just check the next topic.
I think it's Thatcher, isn't it?
All right.
Something
Is
like
it
that.
Thatcher?
Okay.
Oh no, it's not. I know
Um,
what it is.
It is how can the UK's democracy be improved? Okay, I'll just announce it since I've already said it now. All right, so basically, this is about how can the UK's democracy be improved? Like, obviously, like it. How?
Wait,
what,
I had a
what-
question.
Oh,
Oh,
got
sure.
questions?
Go ahead.
Do you think we should pressure other countries to following, your problem to solve climate change?
Yes.
That's a
Yes,
good
we should
question.
definitely pressure other countries to help us build a hole in Slough, yes. That is my problem.
No,
with
but yeah,
climate
like
change.
Jack, I'm sure you agree. Like, it's a global issue. It's not.
It
just
is,
us.
definitely.
So we
We
all
can do
have
all we
to
want
just
to,
we have to
but
convince
China's
everyone to
and
work
stuff.
together, which is
Yeah.
gonna be hard, but it's
We-
gonna happen.
Yeah. We can do all we want
You
to.
don't
but
have to
China
answer
doesn't
this
stop.
one, but how do you think that would be possible?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'm not gonna lie and tell you I have
Do
a
we have
solution because I
blackmail on
don't.
them yet?
Oh dear.
People,
Anyway.
people who are much smarter than me will work it out. Essentially,
Either that or Secret Service will get blackmail, either or. That,
Good.
that'd have to
we could
convince
maybe
people.
do it by like refusing to trade with them or something. But I
Surely,
don't know.
surely stuff like China, that would just hamper us, though.
I don't think
Yeah,
anyone
but
really
it's-
wants UK product.
I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, but we might like we buy. You know, if we buy a lot of stuff from them, then the
Yeah.
loss of that export.
But then I suppose there will always be Africa, especially with China. There will always be African countries more than willing to pay up for.
Let's be honest, nobody's out. Like the only thing that people are interested in trading are our guns, but even then, the crap.
Also, seems like you're done there because you just kind of fucked up what you were saying. Jack, really quick,
Yeah.
what do you think of the Paris climate things?
The what? Oh, I know what they are.
The Paris
But
climate
once
agreement.
Once again, remind me.
Just like an agreement. It was something to do with I don't even know, to be honest.
Basically,
thing-
it's just a bunch of countries
Reduce
saying.
carbon neutrality. It was reduced use on carbon, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Stuff
that
like
was it. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's your
Yeah.
opinion on it? Like, do you think
good.
it's good that like Trump left it?
of course not.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that it's a good idea, but it's fucking useless because they don't enforce it in
America.
any way.
Yeah, no, yeah.
No, I was just
It's
using
like
that
the
'cause
League
we
of
didn't
Nations.
leave it. I was just saying, like, as an example, Trump made America leave
Not gonna lie, it
Yeah.
feels like a bit of a League of Nations situation here, where
Yeah.
America leaves it. So,
No, well, League of Nations, America never joined.
yeah, that's
They
what.
just went, sure, have it, we aren't asked.
Anyway, right, let's move on to the fifth topic, and I'm
Hang on.
assuming that during this topic, I'm going to be called downstairs for tea Although I never know about.
Well, we'll
one,
just
so-
we can just like finish the topic and then we'll
If
We
I
can take
get-
a reset and talk about it when you come back or something.
Yeah. Okay. How can the UK's democracy be improved? We're going to talk about the general sort of democracy of the UK. So here are some topics in that you could may wish to discuss. Reforming the House of Lords. Why are there so many bishops there? What about first past the Pope? No, not
First
first
past the
past the
Pope.
Pope. Yes, pass the Pope around.
You have to run past the Vatican, and if you
No,
do that, you're Prime Minister.
Sorry, I was talking about bishops and Pope. So no, first past the post. Should we switch to another voting system like alternative vote, like Australia, for example?
know what
Anything else you
alternative
can
vote
think
is.
of, Josh? Those are two main things I could think of about the UK's democracy.
It was pretty much is our democracy system a bit crap, and debate that. So yeah, you've already said that.
All right. Yeah, those just some starting points. If you can think of literally anything else, go for it.
Yeah,
Who wants to
that's a
start
very
on this
good
one? Joel, would you like to start?
I can start if you want, but to be honest, like, I don't really know a lot about how the democracy works.
Can I make a point?
The only thing that I
muted
that I
myself.
have a note on for this is about I don't know. There's a proper name for it. Is it like proportional representation? But it's
Yeah.
ranked choice voting. So you rank your choices.
Not proportional. That is. Do you mean the Irish one? Or?
No, it's like you like rank each choice on your ballot by which one is your favourite.
Oh, yes, the Irish one. 1 second. It's the Northern Irish one.
Yeah, it's
We've just been doing this in politics. I should know.
Alright,
this.
yeah, I just think it's good because it I mean the argument an argument against it is that it increases like how long it takes to count them, but like I think that's worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would
Single
say
transferable vote. You mean?
yes, that's it. Because then it's like if your party that you put as your like first choice or whatever, got like the least votes, then that party's pushed out the race, and all the people who voted for that, you take what they ranked as their second choice and you give the votes to them, and then like you keep doing that for like third and fourth choice until someone has over 50% of the vote.
Oh, the Irish do it a bit differently. They do. Well, they use it to select a lot. Well, they have to use it to select like ministers and stuff like that.
Oh right, yeah.
Right.
It might not be used exactly
Representatives.
the same way, but
Yeah.
like that's how I envision it. Because
Yeah, no, fair enough.
that
yeah.
way, at least 50% of the population is at least like
represented.
yeah, not necessarily happy because it's not the first choice, but they're at least okay with it, you know?
Yeah.
The majority of people would be happy with it.
Yeah.
All right. Jack, would you like to talk about your opinion on it then?
Right. I fully agree with what Joel's saying, but I think there should be some change to who's selected as ministers. I think
I don't
that
know
you should
anything
only
about
get
this,
selected.
so-
As... What?
I don't know anything
Oh,
about
yeah.
this, so you'll just have to tell me.
So, in my opinion, you should only be selected as minister if you've had some experience working in that field before. So, for example, for the health minister, should be someone that's got a background in the health profession.
Yeah, that's
Education, someone's got a background in education. Stuff like
and probably someone who
Canada's-
has
if
had
you look
like
at-
a high background in it, like a CEO
Yeah.
of a fucking like academy.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
No, not a
CEO of an academy.
No, like a head teacher or something,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Imagine fucking Joe Morgan.
I think it's the most current Canadian Parliament's a really good example of this, because they've got like I took a picture of what their cabinet's made up of. Let's see if we can find it, because it
Would.
is probably quite good. They've people that actually, like, for example, the Minister of Health was a doctor. The National Defence is a veteran. The Minister of Youth is under 45, which is strangely rare.
Ooh.
The stuff like agriculture is a farmer. Public Safety Emergency was a scout. You had Minister of Justice, who's both a Crown Prosecutor and a First Nations leader. You've got it is probably quite good. The immigration and citizen refugee was an immigration critic as well.
Yeah, I kind of just agree with you on that. You should have
Yeah,
experience in it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because at the moment
I
you've
think we
got
just
what,
agree on
Mike
this. I
Gove.
think we should just move on straight away. Like, what
Yeah.
else is there that we would maybe disagree on?
What about?
House of Laws reform. That's one you said.
Yeah, I think that
I
the
don't
House of
even fucking know
Lords
about
it would be.
I think there should be some limit. Well, there obviously is a limit, but I think there should be some put in place because Ian Botham's now a lord, the cricket player.
Do you think the Prime Minister's
What
whoever's
actually
Prime
is the
Minister?
fucking House of Lords, mate?
So it's unelected officials that. So, correct me if I'm wrong because we've done it because this is my brief knowledge from politics. But
I can't correct you because I don't want to know about it.
I presume someone will in questions later. That's what I meant. They're unelected and they do a lot with stuff like check over because a lot of them aren't involved in politics. A lot more neutral, so they like check over laws that we're putting through. We send them over to them. They read through them. They change a few stuff. Then they come back to the Parliament. They vote on the changes, and then if it works, it goes through. If not, it goes back to the Lords. They go over it again, propose some new changes. Then it goes back.
Basically, they just check. They're supposed to check the fine details.
Yeah,
but a lot of criticism comes in. But a lot of criticism comes in for the House of Lords because most of them are just like leaders of sort of like religious organisations, like bishops and stuff like that. And a lot of people think, well, hang on, how come these people? Why should they get to have? Why are they more qualified than MPs to have a look at bills? And another criticism that you two may disagree on is what the Prime Minister can give peerages to people, can basically make people lords, if they do something to make the Prime Minister happy, cough cough, donating a lot of money.
Cough cough, Ian Botham, cough cough.
Yes. So basically, how would you two go about this? How would you reform the House of Lords?
I think it's good to have people that aren't career politicians there because it brings a new level. Like, for example, we've got bishops. There's an imam in there. There's 2 Jewish priests, I believe, 2 rabbis. Sorry. The whole point of the Lords is to check over. There's often people with a lot more experience working in a certain field that can check over and check the fine details and make sure there's nothing that the special committees have missed and stuff like that. And I think a Prime Minister can only put people in the Lords if at the very end of their term, where there's not going to be an effect that if they put some, at the very end, like the last thing they can do is anyone you want to go into the Lords.
I'll be honest with you, don't have an opinion really because it's something I'll need to look into more.
You're going to be taken down in your revolution.
Ooh.
What about my revolution?
You wanted a revolution at one point, didn't you?
Yeah, but what about it?
Call to it. I said that they're going to be taken down in your revolution.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about like my revolution point, but just so we actually have someone to talk about with this.
Fair enough. Yeah, because we've literally spent the last 5 subjects just agreeing on.
Yeah,
everything.
Let's.
This is like the one we're
Here's something we maybe disagree on. You what?
Margaret Thatcher coming on next anyway, so don't worry
I know, but I just want to bring up revolution because this is kind of the only time where it's semi-appropriate. I think the system at the moment is so fucked. The only way to fix it fully is to tear it down and build it up again.
Fair enough.
That's a vote for Jen.
I'm inclined to agree, surprisingly.
You could definitely fix it over a long period of time, but that's just unlikely to happen because the longer the period of time, the more likely that someone who has a lot of money is going to pay someone a lot of money in order to enact the policies they want, and it's not going to happen. So,
right. No, that's that basically draw. Okay, does anyone have any questions? Basically,
are we polling this one or are we not doing that?
Is there a point we just agreed on everything?
Yeah. The past few we don't need to poll. Anyway, the next few we got Margaret Thatcher and like foreign.
Devolution.
I think maybe we'll disagree on foreign policy. So.
I imagine we'll disagree on Thatcher as well.
Yeah, definitely. We already said that. Though.
We've got Margaret Thatcher, devolution, foreign policy, state of Labour / Conservatives, and should the Queen die?
I don't think that's the point. The Queen
that's
will
not really
die
a question,
at one point.
but sure. I think
because she's not immortal.
I don't think she should die, but she probably will soon.
You say that she might be immortal at this point. I'm not too sure.
Oh dear.
Have you got to go for your tea? Because if you have, I'll just put the stream on hold now.
I'm just gonna. This would be a pretty good place to start, but I'm just gonna keep going. Call downstairs.
I think we should adjourn. I'm really hungry.
Are there any questions though? Anyone at all?
Not really. I kind of need a toilet.
Okay, right. Yeah, we'll call it a day here, right? I'm gonna, or not call it a day, but you know,
We'll take a recess.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's not too long until I have to go for tea.
What was that, Joel?
There we go. It's all up.
Oh.
See? It's just one click.
Right.
We're
Was
finally back.
Margaret? Okay, are we ready?
I
Yeah,
suppose.
go on.
Right.
What was that, Joel?
There
Okay,
we go.
so
It's
for
all
our
up.
next topic,
Um,
we're going to be doing was
just one
Margaret
click.
Thatcher really that bad? Yeah, just basically just talk about your opinion on Margaret Thatcher in general. Was she good? Was she bad? Is she actually just some monster, or was she what Britain needed to propel themselves into the future?
Right. I'll go first on this one.
Right, yeah. If you're Reddit
Because
sources,
I've got a fuck ton of notes on it. I'm not a fuck ton. In comparison to the others, it's a
a fuck ton.
Right. I'm just going to read off my notes, I guess. So, under Margaret Thatcher, within the first few years, unemployment increased from 1.3 million. I've written here 1 million to 3 million, but it's about 1.3 million to about 3.2 million. I might be wrong. It was about from 1 million to 3 million. Because of increased interest rates, which attempted to control inflation. Partially because of that. It was because of other things as well, which I'll get into. There was also a recession. She attempted to close... Well, she did close, actually, I think, a few. But she attempted to close coal mining pits to reduce the power of trade unions, which ended up putting 20,000 workers out of jobs and resulted in a year-long strike. She also stated that she thought privatisation would, and this is a quote, reverse the corrosive and corrupting effects of socialism.
Can see why you don't like her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
The workforce of the electricity and gas companies were halved. Half of the people in those industries lost their jobs. And rail privatisation has had very bad effects, which still go on today, and also caused several high-profile rail accidents within a few years after privatisation.
Right, yeah.
Okay, Jack, you go.
So yes, she was an arsehole, just to clarify.
Right. To start off, I agree with Joel on economic-wise. She did what needed to be done, but in the world's worst way possible. However, foreign policy-wise, I think she was very good for Britain. We were strong during the Falklands crisis. We had a strong presence on the Irish thing, and I think that did well for us.
Okay, tell me about that. Tell me what you think she did well.
Well, as I said, the Falkland Island, the Americans wanted us to back out. Quite a lot of people wanted us to back out and give British citizens over to the Argentinian dictatorship. We decided not to, and we got the islands back for Britain.
Okay. Well, my tea's just arrived, and I dropped a piece of it on my arm, so let me just lick it off.
Oh, God.
Also, the polls up. Everyone vote.
Does the poll even matter?
Yes, the polls were up since Margaret Thatcher came in charge, yes.
Poll tax. Poll tax joke. I've already fucking forgot what we were even talking about.
Foreign policy.
Foreign policy.
Thatcher's foreign policy.
Don't have any notes on that. Maybe she was good.
Didn't when you having to go about at one point sending illegal death squads into the IRA at one point?
Yeah, but I couldn't find any sources for it. I think it's
because it was made up.
To simplify it, Joel, basically, what Jack is asking you is, was the Falklands worth it?
I don't know.
Okay, good.
One thing we thought we'd argue about, we've just gone. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I haven't done any research on that. I mean, if you can give me some things to look at, I'll look at them if you want.
Falklands is pretty much the main thing.
How do you not know about the Falklands War? Just
well, I know about it, but very little. I don't know. It's not.
I don't know. I mean, even there are controversies for Thatcher in the Falklands War because she this is not.
She did escalate it a bit, but they did take British citizens. So.
Basically, I'm gonna drop the bomb here. She so basically there was a ship that had loads of Argentines on it, a military vessel, and basically Britain made an exclusion zone around the island because it's an island. So navy vessels, you need to secure it by getting rid of the navy. So what she did, she put an exclusion zone around the island and said, right, no Argentine ships there. That's the line. Go away. But there was this military vessel outside the Argentine military vessel outside the exclusion zone,
Mhm.
and that was sunk. And that is quite controversial because what if they were
Well,
retreating? That makes it a
But it was
potential war
there for a
crime.
long time. It was retreating. It was taking them forever.
well, it doesn't matter. She set the exclusion zone.
Yeah.
Like, it was outside of it. It can fucking
Well,
stay there as long as it wants. It's outside the
okay.
exclusion zone.
Sorry to intervene. Yeah, the inevitable has happened, and I've
Yeah,
got to
keep
go,
going
you know.
now.
Go,
I
go,
knew
go.
this would happen. I knew the
Go,
second we
go.
started it would happen.
Bye.
That's a nice desktop. Josh,
Right.
you'll have to get the thing up. Right.
Keep talking, we
Yeah,
don't
just-
need this.
It doesn't matter. Right. It literally does not matter because it was outside the exclusion zone. So.
Yeah, but it had a threat. It could have, like I said, it was most likely spying.
Right. Well,
It
if
deserved to get
that's an
sunk.
issue, it being at that distance, then she should just set the exclusion zone as slightly larger.
Suppose still deserved to be
You
sunk.
can't say if you come inside this line, we'll bang you.
Yeah.
Right. And then they don't come inside the line, and you still bang them. Well, that's not
Yeah,
fair.
but put it this way. Let's say you tell someone you can't come inside your house. They then spend the next several days just sitting just outside your house. You're still going to
Well-
want to bang them.
No, you're gonna want to, but you didn't tell them like, stay off, man.
No, but that's sort of implied. Not just slowly skirt around it, more stay massively away from it.
The thing
A
is, Jack,
quarantine, the thingy zone's a suggestion of don't be anywhere near here anytime soon.
Surely must have been some kind of communication between this ship and the British ships.
I imagine
Surely.
that cut off communications quite quickly. The Argentinians.
well,
Yeah.
once I've eaten this food, I'll tell you why I disagree. Okay, fuck them.
Food over Thatcher.
Yeah, well, Thatcher would disagree. Anyway, so, what was I going to say? The thing is, Jack, in that
Yeah.
situation where someone is sitting outside your house, right? We
Yeah.
have these things called laws,
Yeah.
and if someone stood outside of your house on the street,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
Yeah.
legally, yeah, you might want to kill them, but you can't because it's called laws, right?
Yeah.
You can't just fucking shoot them in the head. So
Yeah.
why can the government do basically the same thing on a larger scale?
Because they were threatening to take the island.
Yeah, well, someone can stand outside my house on the
Yeah.
street and say, I'm going to come in your house. And then if they just
Yeah.
stand there, and then they just don't say anything after that for
Yeah,
ages,
but
I can't shoot
they
'em.
were posturing. They didn't just say that and sod off to go do something else. They were posturing. They were posturing. The whole point of it was meant to be. The Argentinian government was a military dictatorship that was failing. This was meant to be a quick publicity stunt. They didn't think England would give a shit about the Falklands. They'd go in, they'd act big, they'd take it, and they'd be fine. England did give a shit. They still tried to act big about it.
Well, still, point still stands. Diplomacy. How about you
What
say
with a
get your
on its
fucking
last
ship
legs
away?
military government?
Get your fucking ship away, or we'll blow the shit out of you. That's better than
Yeah.
just doing it.
But they're not going to because those ships go away. The people go, oh, the government's weak. Time to rebel. They're not going to do that.
Doesn't matter. You try it. Don't know until
But
you
it's
try.
not
Do you?
going to work though. Well, yes, you do.
Listen,
We've had
right,
countless of.
if you want to like have your guns and shit aimed at it, ready to fire, no problem
Yeah.
with that. And then as soon as it starts like coming past the line, or if you tell it get out or we're gonna blow the shit out of you, and it doesn't get
Yeah.
out, sure, you've warned it. That's your territory, whatever. But you can't just go. I mean, it's not past the line, but it is a bit dodgy, and so you can't just shoot it. Like that's not that's not how it works.
I believe they did warn it to get away as well.
You
They
believe?
did give it a warning to sod
I have
off.
to find about this. What can I search to find this?
Just type in a. What would be the best thing to? I'm trying to think now. Just type in the. Do we just type in
Falkland
Falklands
Island
crisis?
ship. I'll put.
Yeah.
It's coming up with loads of conservative things like Margaret Thatcher's great victory on the Falkland Islands.
From the New Statesman.
Right, how did it start then?
What?
I'm trying to find something. I'm literally just reading the Wikipedia article right now. Josh, are you getting the PowerPoint up, by the way?
The file he sent me, I can't open it in PowerPoint for some reason. I can only open it in Google Present.
Oh, this is
which
great.
Open it in Chrome.
Do what?
Open it in Chrome. Just like open Chrome and drag it in. That should work.
I can present it full screen and that's absolutely fine, but I need to be able to see the polls and shit, so I can't really do it.
Sick, so I guess we're not having it. It's fine.
I can send you the PowerPoint if you want, and you can do some more.
Yeah,
of that.
sure, yeah. What was I doing? Blah blah blah. Dictators. Tension between the countries. UK was initially taken by surprise by the Argentine attack on the South Atlantic Islands. Is that after that then, or before?
I'm pretty sure after.
After, okay, I'll go back up.
I feel like the Argentinians were threatening it. That shit rocked up. We said no because they took it off us for a bit. Then we sent paratroopers in and took it back.
So, hang on. Why can't I find anything about it? My dog's crying at me because she wants to leave the room and go.
Did you kidnap your dog?
Yeah, come on, come on. There you go. Right. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, this point is starting to be annoying. I really can't find anything about it.
Right, can I ask you a question, Joel?
Yeah, sure.
If you were arguing for Thatcher being good, would you be saying that this whole ship incident was a bad thing? Or would you be saying it's either negligible or a good thing?
Well, obviously, if we're arguing for them being good, you would say it was negligible or a good thing. Like, it was nothing, right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying it was a bad thing.
Right,
What was the question?
Plenty of other Thatcher things you can discuss, so surely there's...
1 second, I think I found the ship.
Okay.
It's the General Belgrano.
The General Belgrano.
Yes,
It's Belgrano.
General Belgrano.
I'm
The
not
only
sure.
ship to be sunk by a nuclear submarine.
Ah, here we go. Yep, found it in the article. It was way further down in the article. Okay.
Can you see that alright?
Hong Kong. Yeah, that's fine. That works.
Still on Thatcher.
Right, so the controversy comes from the UK had said it had extended the exclusion zone as to where it was, and the Argentinians said they hadn't.
Wait, say that again. What?
The English. So we said that that exclusion zone it had been extended, and that ship was included in the exclusion zone, and the Argentinians said we hadn't extended it or something like that. They refused to acknowledge that extension.
Right, well, why wouldn't the government publicly say we've extended the exclusion zone before they fucking destroyed the ship?
Well, they told the Argentinian government they'd fingered it.
But why wouldn't they say that publicly? Because they would know that there would be some kind of controversy. You would say it
God, no.
publicly, wouldn't you?
I imagine, God knows.
I'll tell you,
that's
right?
what I can get.
If
from it.
God
Yeah.
knows, then I'm God, right? Because fucking
Right.
I know exactly fucking why. It's because they didn't extend the exclusion zone. And they took the
Right,
risk
yeah.
of, well, we'll just blow the shit out of them, we'll deal with the controversy later.
Right, yeah.
That's
Jack,
what
you
it-
should have done fucking research.
What?
You should have done research.
I was busy doing history work instead.
Yeah, well then you should have said, like, reschedule it. That's your fault. Fuck you, I win.
All right, fair enough.
Hang on. Do you want to talk about anything else that I said? What about employment?
Oh no, I agree. A lot of it needed to be done, but she went around it in a completely
Oh.
wrong way.
What about privatisation of everything? You know,
No.
water, railways.
I'm against stuff
electricity,
like
gas.
privatisation and stuff like that.
Okay.
It stops innovation and stuff like that. A lot of it.
What about the coal miner strike that lasted a year?
So, like I said, the mine needed to be shut down. We would it were becoming unprofitable, but she went around it the wrong way. They shouldn't have just been completely shut down. There should have been, programs to re-educate miners to get them into different work before they shut down and stuff like that.
Okay, so do you think that Margaret Thatcher was bad, as everyone says?
I think I think foreign, like I said, I think her foreign policy was good, but I definitely think her domestic policies needed a lot of work.
But just in general, like overall,
I'd say she was quite bad.
as bad as everyone says.
Not as bad, but pretty bad.
Okay. So you think she wasn't necessarily quite as bad as everyone says, yet you agreed with every single point I raised, and you only raised one point which you barely backed up.
Not every single point, no, because a lot of people treat her as the devil. Where I said stuff that she did
Kind of
needed
is,
to
though.
be done,
Was.
but it's stuff that she did needed to be done.
Yeah,
but she
and
just
she
went
was
about it
like,
the wrong way.
oh, how do we fix this? Oh, I know. We'll destroy the working class.
Yeah, well, those industries were already being destroyed pretty much. They were hemorrhaging money. They were going. In
Okay.
fact, let's be honest here.
So how
if
do you
Thatcher
fix
hadn't
that?
done
Do you smash the remains of it with a hammer and accelerate the problem, or do you actually think and then fix it?
It was less smashing the reins of a hammer and more grabbing the hammer that was already falling to smash the thing and making it come sooner.
All right. Well, if that's the way you want to put it, either way, she smashed it with a fucking hammer.
Yeah.
That's not how you fix it, right?
No, but it was always
let's
gonna
say
be
you've got
smashed.
a child
There's
who
no-
has cancer, right? And they've got terminal cancer and they're dying. Do you
Yeah.
fucking stab them to death?
No.
Exactly.
Well,
yeah,
no.
like you help them go in the nicest way possible.
Yep.
Exactly. So, how is it a good thing to smash it with a fucking hammer? You don't smash these industries. You don't completely destroy them just because then they're going to be destroyed eventually anyway. That's not how it works.
Not destroyed eventually. Destroyed pretty goddamn soon.
But not like you're just basically saying, well, it'll end quicker if we just do it now, and we'll just deal with all problems straight away. That's not fixing the problems. That's just making them come sooner so that you can fix them straight away. And by fix them, basically doing fuck all and not fixing them all. And then privatization. In the case of privatization, a lot of it being reversed afterwards because it was a shit decision.
Well, as I said, my thing is, I think that she had the right idea, but she went about it the wrong way. We needed to stop. We needed to close the businesses.
Hitler had
but
the right idea.
No, we didn't. What?
Yes, he did. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna make everyone in Germany really happy, and I'll do it by killing the Jews. You see what I mean there?
I don't think you can call Thatcher Hitler.
I think you could say she's like a Hitler light, you know?
No, I don't think you could describe Thatcher as Hitler-like. She wasn't going, the Jews, we must kill the Jews.
Yeah, but she
It was the
did-
Northerners instead.
she did make 2 million people lose their jobs within a
Yeah,
very
and
small
Hitler
span
did the
of time.
exact opposite, pretty much. He ended unemployment.
Exactly. He had.
What's
That's what
your
I'm saying.
point?
That's what I'm
She
saying.
was Hitler-like. She would have ended unemployment.
No,
1 second.
that's what I'm saying. She had a goal and she achieved it through very shitty means. Hitler had a goal. Hitler was like, you know what? I'll fix unemployment. How will I fix unemployment? Oh, I know. I'll take loads of Jews out of their jobs and loads of disabled people,
And the
I'll
women.
stick them in a camp, and then employment goes up. Well, hey, you've fixed the problem, but there's still fucking 11 million people have been killed. Like
Yep.
it's not just because you have the right idea doesn't mean that you're a good person for it or you're good at your job. You can have like the best idea in the world, but if you go about it the wrong way, it's meaningless.
Wait, can I
Can you what?
Yep.
now, or can you still see my PowerPoint?
I can't see your PowerPoint now.
Okay, that's the issue I had in the first place, because I need to do polls and shit. You know what the question is anyway, so you don't know.
Keep in mind I'm live streaming your screen right now, so
Yeah,
don't show anything.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna.
Just end your stream. And then just start it again when you got the thing up. Right, what the fuck was I gonna say? I don't know. Well, I made my point.
Any questions and shit?
Is there anyone even still watching?
I need to put something on the screen. Fuck. It's not
We've
on the
already done
screen.
But we've already done that. You'll have to watch the stream back.
What?
Aaron's just on, then you've probably.
Alright. Yeah, I mean, I made my point. Like, whether you agree or disagree. If you disagree, you can tell me about it. You know, we can talk about it, or we can move on.
Shall we move on?
I've got
Oh
one
yeah,
question.
because you have no response. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Got one question before you move on. Anyway, do you think any of Thatcher's stuff was negated by the fact that every prime minister in front of her was a bit shit?
No.
Not all of them were shit. They were just mostly shit.
Exactly.
Just because people after you are also shit doesn't make you any less shit.
Before them, not after them.
You what?
Before her. the
Oh,
one
before. No,
Yeah.
but like there's a reason that everyone remembers her as being terrible, and it's
'Cause
obviously because she was worse. I mean, we've improved, I guess, since then, marginally. No, more than marginally. I mean, Boris Johnson.
We had Blair.
We've had a lot of shit people, right?
Yes.
But she was the fucking demon from hell. It's not hard to top that. Also, as a small point, I was talking to my dad about this before. My dad said to me, "Oh my god," my dad said to me, that apparently she got rid of free milk for children in primary schools. I think that's a bit mean.
All right, fair enough. She's the devil. Yeah, she's the
There you
devil.
go.
Fair
See?
enough.
Yeah,
She's the devil.
we agree. All right,
She's the devil.
Josh. Next topic.
You've
let's
convinced
go.
me. She's the devil.
links in chat.
Let's
If
have any
any,
questions.
that's about it. Matthew, are you still there? Declan, are you still there?
Anyone have questions? No.
Not really.
Did you listen to supposedly the
Right,
best part?
vote on the fucking thing then. Stop talking as well. You're talking on the stream.
If I win this one again, because every time it looks like I've failed, I somehow keep winning.
Well, no, you failed the first time, and
I won that one.
and you won. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Every time it feels like I failed, I end up winning.
What
Oh, someone's just put twat.
Alright.
We
Is
both
it-
moderate, and Lewis is eating his
Can
tea.
we move on to the next one, please?
Right, yeah.
Bloody screen share it.
Your next question is what?
Bloody screen share it.
Yes, in a minute. You fucking
Bloody
knob.
screen share it.
This has just devolved into a shit show, hasn't it?
It has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But oh well.
I'm happy to stop right here and now.
No.
Am I streaming the right thing?
Hang on, let me check. It's just
Is
white
that yeah?
right now.
Great, brilliant, love it. 1 minute.
Ba 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 da ba. Let's go to an intermission. There we go, we're back. That was a very short
Right, should
intermission.
there be devolution in the north? Make it quick.
Oh yeah. Oh Jesus.
Alright, you're
I
gonna have
think
to
that-
start on this, Jack, because I don't.
I
Really,
think there
couldn't
should
find
definitely be
much
more devolution in the north. The Southerners don't know how to control. The Southerners don't know how to actually govern the north.
So do you mean just kind of like a secession from England?
Basically, no, like you know how like Scotland's got its own parliament.
Yeah.
Basically, something like that for the north.
So it'd be like split into Northern England and Southern England.
Yes, where there's a parliament that's ultimately subservient to parliaments in general, but can make laws for
Yeah. Do I have any notes on this?
Northern England.
No, I just put yes for
Oh.
this as in my notes because
Fair enough.
I couldn't really find much, but there's a lot of bad
Yeah.
shit that like basically London treats us like we're fucking useless.
Yeah. Well, look at this. They've had more deaths than us in COVID. They've only just got
Yeah.
into tier 3.
Yeah, they were in tier 2 for ages, and we've been in tier 3
Yeah.
the whole time. So, it's something to do with like, I think this is a bit of a rumor. It's not necessarily confirmed, but apparently London was going to be in tier 3, but then Boris Johnson was informed that it would cause them to lose like 600,000 jobs in London, something like that. Not sure on the exact number. Large amount of jobs. And then suddenly London went into tier 2. So yeah.
Yep. That often happens.
I mean, yeah, I just kind of I agree with that. I feel like I feel like if we do that as well, it'd help me to achieve my governmental goals, because we could.
Of course, that's what you want.
Well, yeah, obviously they are called goals for a reason, Jack.
Yes.
We would, I would be able to achieve those goals a lot easier. Yeah, because it's a smaller scale, and then you just expand from there. So, yeah. I think, that's kind of a really easy question because I don't know a lot about it, so I'd have to probably look into it. But I tried to, but I couldn't really find anything about it.
Fair enough.
I couldn't find any stats or anything that said like what would be the effects of it. So,
in my opinion, when it comes to, I'm very much in favour of Northern devolution because, as I said, I don't feel Southerners can actually govern England quite well. I mean,
I don't think it's to do with Southerners. I think it's just that,
I do.
like, Southern are just politicians in general, really.
Yeah.
But in the South, the politicians are a lot wealthier.
Well, I think a great example of this
Because
is
the South
Corbyn.
is wealthier than the North. Everyone knows that.
I think a great example of this is Corbyn and the Northern working class showing that they don't agree with a Southern champagne socialist coming in and telling them exactly what they want, pretending like they know what they want when he doesn't. He doesn't understand the Northern working class.
Cultural divide, at least.
Yeah.
So it's something worth talking about.
Yeah. I mean, stuff like for COVID, it would have been handled completely different, and we would have most likely been able to go into a better lockdown if the North had some autonomy.
Yeah. I mean, there always comes problems with things like that, but it's the kind of problems that you'll get. Like, there's gonna be people who are near the border who complain, "I want to be on the other side," or whatever.
Then move. That's the reply to that one.
You're just gonna have that problem, so it's not really always worth talking about because it's just an intrinsic problem with that kind of situation. But yeah, as far as I can tell from what I've seen, because I did some research, but like I said, couldn't find much. But from what I have seen, yeah, I agree. As long as it's done in a reasonable way, then yeah.
Yeah.
And not just like Brexit, where we're just like, we're leaving, fuck you.
It's a good we're leaving, though.
Yeah, well, we already talked about that. Right, next topic. That was very fast. That was really easy.
The next topic is...
Oh, here we go. Foreign policy.
Foreign policy, here we go. Invade everywhere that belonged to the Empire.
Right, okay. I'll use that off.
You want me to absolutely go off? Alright.
Absolutely go off.
Generally, no, don't involve yourself in conflicts outside your borders. We need to use the money that we're pumping into the army. I mean, at least we can at least be happy that our military budget isn't as massively bloated as like America, which just has a fucking huge problem with it. But here, you could definitely use that money in much better ways. Again, I've already explained all the ways that I would use the sort of disposable income of the government previously. I already explained it, so I'm not going to explain it again. But yeah, you keep the troops home. You're sending out less people to die. That's always a good thing. I mean, yeah, just reinvest the money in other things that'll make our country better for us. And then once we've sort of fixed the majority of our problems here, then we can start getting involved with other things.
I take a complete different approach, and I say we should involve ourselves in foreign wars if it's beneficial to us. If it means we can install a friendly government in charge that'll give us better thing for oil. If it means
That
we
is
can take back
actually
the
just
empire.
pure corruption that you support in there.
Yeah, well...
Did you support the... Why have I forgot the country? It was Iraq, wasn't it? The Iraq War.
If
with
they were
Saddam
honest about
Hussein,
it, just
right?
said we want
Did you
oil,
support
yes.
the killing of Saddam Hussein?
Yes, that was a dictator.
Do you think he had weapons of mass destruction?
Definitely not, no. But he had oil. That's the important thing.
Okay, well, I think you're too far gone on that issue for me to even convince you, but I'm going to try. Don't you think that's wrong? To lie
What?
to the people and tell them, hey, this guy has weapons of mass destruction, so we're going to invade him, but secretly it's just because big business is paying the politicians behind the scenes because they'll get more money if you invade it and install someone who gives you better prices for oil.
Yeah, that's definitely wrong the line. They should have been truthful, but it still needed to be done.
Why
pause
did it
and-
need to be done?
Well, A, deposing a dictator, which is just good in general.
But we
B,
can't
because
just
that's-
start taking out all the bad guys. That's not how it
Why
works.
not?
Right, alright. Let's say we do that, okay? Let's go
Yeah.
kill Kim Jong-un. Let's fucking bag and tag Putin, right? Let's go into all of Africa and kill all the warlords, yeah? That's totally feasible, right? We can definitely do that. 100%.
Yeah.
No, we can't. And if we tried to do that, we would make so many enemies. We would create more terrorist cells. We would end up with more terrorism in England from people who support those countries, and basically we would fall apart as a country.
Not if
a
you do
good
it
idea.
properly. I'm not saying we just
Oh,
rock up,
not to-
shoot shit, and leave.
Not to mention the fucking funding. How
Yeah.
much would that cost to actually just go around and kill all the bad guys?
I'm not saying we're doing it all at once. I'm not saying we rock up, shoot shit, leave, next baddie. Rock
Exactly.
up, shoot shit, leave, next baddie.
Exactly.
Rock up,
right?
shoot shit, leave.
We can take out the bad guys when it's when it is a good option, okay?
Yeah.
Saddam Hussein, he can wait, yeah? I know
Yeah.
his people are suffering. I get it, right? I know he's dead. I'm just talking like as if I'm in the past. Shut up. Like it's fine. He can wait, all right? We've got huge problems in this country.
Have we?
Massive problems.
Oh,
Yeah, shut up,
thank God.
Lewis.
Get your stream back up.
Massive
Why?
problems in this country, right?
God, I don't like it.
We need to worry about what's happening here. I know this is kind of nationalist. I guess that kind of makes me a national socialist.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh dear.
Well, you were Trump earlier, so you're fully evolved now.
Right, what are we on? Have we done devolution?
Yeah, we're on foreign policy.
Foreign wars.
Um,
Honestly, how bad do you think devolution got when we said about national socialism, might I ask?
oh, I think is my Discord frozen? Hello?
I can hear you.
Oh no, I thought it was frozen for a sec. Right.
Unfortunately.
Hang on, I need to join your stream again. There you go. Right. I mean, I've said everything really, haven't I? Like, fuck it, you know, fix the problems in your own country, then you can move on to others.
Yeah, but we're responsible for half the problems in other countries. Might as well go fix those as well. It's our dodgy
Well,
borders
yeah,
they're drawn
we
and they're
should.
fighting over.
We should, but we should have never caused those problems in the first place. But
Why should we have to fix the problems we caused?
You what?
Why do we have to like?
Because we caused them in the first
Yeah,
place.
'cause our
If we hadn't,
government- our
if
government-
we
well,
hadn't
not
rocked up,
problems,
we
Saying
wouldn't
we
have
is
problem.
is a bad way of phrasing it. Really, it's our government is responsible.
I don't want to do it.
Our government's responsible to fix those problems, and there are certain times when you need to do it or when it's feasible, right? Like
Yeah.
the kind of situation where, let's say, some little country is about to get invaded, right? UK army turns up. It's like more than the invaders could have possibly expected, and they just back off. That's fine. I know it'll cost like a fair amount of money, but it would be worth it because it'd be minimal bloodshed essentially, and it's just assisting people. You know, it's socialism essentially caring about the little guy. You know, caring about this country that can't defend itself.
As long as it's got oil, I agree. Yes.
See, this is where I just fundamentally disagree with you.
What?
The whole oil thing, like,
Yeah.
that's not how you decide whether you invade a country.
Yes.
Do you
if it's
think we
got
should
some
invade Saudi
tactical
Arabia
advantage
because
for
they
you to
have
have.
oil?
No, because they trade with us.
Right. So you're just kind of a nationalist in the sense that you're like, fuck everyone else, whatever's best for our country.
If our troops are fighting and dying in foreign land, it should be for some. It should be the country.
But how does that
we can
oil
get advantage
benefit
from it.
you?
It benefits the country.
Okay, but how does that benefit you?
Because it
Personally.
benefits the country. It doesn't benefit me personally.
Alright.
But I do a lot of stuff
But
that
does
doesn't
it
benefit
benefit
me
the
personally,
country?
but I still
Does
do
it benefit the country, or does it make the country more right-wing, more fascist?
Excuse?
Do you want me to
What?
explain?
Yes.
Okay. What are the kind of people that do trading for that amount of oil?
Big businesses normally.
Big billionaires. How do they
Yeah.
help you?
All right. Not a lot of them do. Some of them do.
Some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit. Tiny bit. How is that
No.
bit extra oil gonna help you though? It's gonna help
Oil
them.
prices will be
It's
cheaper.
gonna help them get more power so that they can pay politicians to enact more policies that let them make more money.
Oil prices will be cheaper. That's a good thing.
Oil prices will be cheaper. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but is that really worth it when basically a big business can pay the government to do whatever they want, even if it steps on you in the process?
Probably not. No.
Okay, so should we go and invade those countries for oil?
Yes.
Why?
Because we want the oil.
Do you want the oil personally?
I don't want the oil. No.
Then
but the country
why
does.
do you care? The only
It's-
people who want the oil are the 1%. The 1% who don't give a shit about you, right?
Yeah.
Most of them, I'm not going to say all, probably all, but most of them don't give a shit about you. They would murder you if it meant they could get more money. That happens. They do that, you know, they work people to death. They work people on minimum wages that aren't living wages at all. Look at McDonald's, you know, people working at McDonald's, like some adult, like I know people always argue, oh, it's just teenagers coming out of school. Yeah, that's fine, don't pay them as much, whatever. But
Yeah.
people who are like 30, 40 years old, working at McDonald's, getting paid minimum wage, can't afford shit, right?
McDonald's pay higher than minimum wage, Joe.
It's just an example. You
Yeah,
know,
McDonald's
you know what
pays.
I mean?
McDonald's pays extremely well. though.
Any minimum wage business, right? I didn't know that McDonald's paid more, right? Any fucking minimum wage business,
Yeah.
right?
The minimum wage isn't a bad thing.
But is the minimum wage a living wage? Could you live off of that much money?
Yes.
Could you really? Would you ever
Yeah.
have a
You couldn't live well, but you can live. Yeah.
would you ever have a chance of actually like let's say you're really smart and you're like an engineer, but you could
Yeah.
never afford to go to university,
Yeah.
right? Are you
Yeah.
and now you're working at McDonald's? Not McDonald's, just a minimum wage business, right?
Yeah.
Are you ever going to get the chance to go to university?
No, and welcome to life. No, everything's fair.
Right. Currently, it's not fair.
Yeah.
So how do we fix that, Jack? It's called socialism.
But you
We
don't
can't-
fix it.
Just because there's problems that have been around for a while doesn't mean they're unfixable.
It's not been around for a while. It's been around since the dawn of time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? I'll tell you, before,
And so,
before
socialism.
capitalism,
So,
in
Joe, you want to see
feudalism-
socialism? Go to Venezuela. Go see
Oh, here he
how
goes
how
again.
massively fucked
Here he
up-
goes off. Venezuela, Venezuela. Yeah, that's always the argument with fucking right-wingers, man. Oh, well, you want socialism? Look at Venezuela.
Look at
Venezuela.
any other
Venezuela.
South American country.
Venezuela.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
Was Venezuela
Venezuela.
So-
Let's go and invade them. I'm fine invading them.
Venezuela.
So was Venezuela not real socialism then?
I mean, look at Evo Morales
No,
in,
I wouldn't even say that,
in
no.
Bolivia then.
I mean,
So-called socialist running for his fourth term in a two-term system.
so-called. Yeah, you said
Yeah.
it. You said it yourself. It's not
Yeah.
socialist, is it? Venezuela,
was, yeah.
right? Venezuela, technically socialist, yeah, but there's very specific ways that you have to do things in socialism. You can't just
Yeah.
give people free money. That's not how it works, right? Obviously, you have to go, okay, how are we going to get this money? You have to run things properly, right?
Yeah.
Like capitalism, for example. I'm sure you like capitalism, right?
Yep.
Do you think that capitalism with absolutely zero restrictions on anything is a good idea?
No.
Okay, so let's say a country decides to go full capitalist, right? Let's
Yeah.
say Venezuela, right, decides to
Yeah.
go fully capitalist and it goes to shit, right?
Yeah.
If someone comes up to you and says, you're a capitalist, well, what about Venezuela? Are you going to call bullshit on it?
No, because that's an example of capitalism going bad.
Yes.
That's an example of what can happen when a capitalism is put into place. It's
Yeah,
a
so what
valid
would you
excuse,
say
a
in
valid
response?
reason.
What would you say in response?
I would say, fair enough. I'd say it's what can happen. It's one possibility.
What about capitalism
Oh,
going
look,
good, though? You'd have
that's
plenty
what
of
I said,
examples.
Jack.
Yeah.
You
All
require
right, like I said,
more
now
intricate
we'll use another.
details.
Now we'll use another
Can we,
example.
Soviet
Bolivia.
Wait.
Russia.
That was socialist.
It
Can we
was
pause,
not.
please, for a sec?
Yeah.
We've gone significantly off topic. So, do you want to vote about the war thing now? And now you can continue your debate about this.
We actually have gone quite off topic.
Have we?
Yeah.
We talk about. Oh, we sort of have. Yes.
Speaking of which, can we start the last 2 points off because I can't be asked?
What are the
Last
last two
two.
points?
Royal family and labor conservative. So.
Are you massively bothered about talking about them? In fact, we can just quickly see if we disagree on them. I think that the monarchy shouldn't be funded by the government, but they can stick around.
I say it earns us more than enough money to be reasonably funded by the government.
But it doesn't because...
Well, it does. It's
would-
been proven that if you stick the Queen's face on stuff, it makes more money.
Yeah, but
she
the
made
Queen's not going to stop existing.
Every
just 'cause
pound
stop
we give the
funding her.
Queen, we get £2 back in tourism from the Queen.
Oh, that's so cool.
I thought you were a capitalist, though. Shouldn't the Queen earn her own money?
No, she's the
free
Queen.
market.
She's excused from that. She's the Queen.
The Queen is the Queen. You
Yeah.
can't
Oh, yeah,
argue
because she
with-
was born into it. Isn't that
Yeah.
kind
She's got
of, isn't that
divine
kind of
right.
racist?
Not particularly, no.
How is that racist?
How is it
I know
racist?
it is. Calm down, I was joking.
If the Queen was black, it'd be fine.
No, I was joking.
Queen is black.
Okay, well, that's the kind of thing, I don't know, I think it's not worth it. I know there's been several studies, but it's also, the Queen still exists if you don't fund them. The Queen can still make money. The Queen still has power in general, just through being iconic.
Yeah, and actual power.
We'd
as well.
still get money through tourism, because Buckingham Palace and the Queen would still be there. They just wouldn't be funded by the government.
But she'd have sold it off so less people go to Buckingham Palace because there's no chance of seeing the Queen.
I went to Buckingham Palace. I don't give a shit about seeing the Queen.
Well, I did. Yeah. It's not English that are going there normally to go see the Queen. It's the Yanks and the Japanese and stuff like that.
But why? And why would the Queen just not exist anymore if we stopped funding them?
Because a lot of those places are state-owned.
Okay,
As
but
in,
the only reason that they're
British
state-owned
system.
is because technically the Queen is still, like, the Queen.
Yeah.
So technically they're owned by the Queen, right?
Yeah.
How about we make a deal with the royal family? We say, and it's not really a deal, it's kind of more forcing it. We say, alright, you can have Buckingham Palace, but you're not getting any funding after, like, whatever date, you know? Yeah, we have moved on topic, so well done for skipping to that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Uh, I thought we were going to kind of agree on this, so we wouldn't end up arguing, but oh well.
No, I'm a self-proclaimed monarchist, Joel.
Right, anyway, no one's voted on question 8 yet. Come on, people.
Yeah, everyone
What was
vote on
question
question
8?
8, the foreign policy shit. Ignore all the shit about socialism and capitalism. We can talk about that at the end.
And
if you want.
Bolivia.
Yeah, we can talk about that at the end if you want, Jack.
Yeah.
Right.
I always find that quite interesting.
Let's get monarchy finished.
Yeah.
Should we just quickly move on to? We've pretty much finished
Oh.
monarchy. Should we just move on to Labour?
Okay, yeah, we disagree with monarchy. You
does
just
have
like the
to-
monarchy because
I
you're
am a
patriot.
monarchist. I will. Yeah.
Okay.
Aaron,
I am.
observe.
I just
I am
disagree
overly
with
British.
I just disagree with patriotism fundamentally.
Are you
because I think
watching,
it's stupid
Aaron?
to love your
It
country
does have transitions.
just for the sake of it being where you were born.
The transitions are happening right now, you fool.
Right. There you
Yes,
go.
it is a transition.
Get the bloody shit going. Get the right thing up. Come on.
Can't
Right,
hear people
what are we
over
talking about
transition
now?
arguments.
It's the one above that.
What, this? Are we talking about this
yeah,
now?
that's last point now.
Oh, fuck, what's happening?
I'll just press like F11 or whatever. There you go.
That'll do. I don't think anyone cares at this point.
Okay, what is the current state of the Labour and Conservative parties? Do you want to go, Jack?
Oh, that was my job.
They're all shit. They're all on fire. One of them's anti-Semitic.
Well,
the
isn't it
others...
nice to end on agreement?
Yes, they're all anti-Semitic. They're all on
both
fire. They're all
fucking
shit.
terrible.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I have examples
Right.
of the Conservative Party. I think
Wait,
Labour's slightly better, but I still wouldn't vote for them.
I mean,
just
they're
out
more
of principle.
anti-Semitic.
Okay. Wait. Yeah, that was about to my question. Which one do you think's the least worst? Both of you.
Jack, would you vote Conservative?
Uh,
Are you still 17?
yes, I can vote in the next election then.
Okay, yeah. So
And also,
in the next
I always
election, are
get my
you
dad's
going to
vote
vote
as well.
Conservative or like what?
I would normally, but Keir Starmer's offering devolution, so Labour.
Ooh, is he?
Starmer's
Well, that's
offering more
cool.
devolution, so Labour.
I don't know who I'll vote for. I'll probably spoil my ballot.
You'll probably vote for the British Communist Party, let's be honest here.
No, I don't like communism.
Do they still exist,
Communism is very far from my ideology. It's completely different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
guys, I like anarcho-monarchism. Guys.
Oh god, here he goes again.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, I think we can just both agree they're both shit, and it's not worth arguing over the little tiny things that make one.
They're
better
all
than the
shit.
other,
They're all
because they're
shit.
still both shit.
Yes. Where's the Monster Raving Loony Party or something?
Where's the spaghetti monster pie?
Where's the Pirate Party?
Oh. Thanks for ruining my night, Aaron.
Right. Anyway. Ooh,
Should we just have some closing discussion, Jack?
Shall we just burn it all and run away?
I think we should just have some closing discussion.
Right.
Because we were talking about some of it before.
on question 8.
You what?
If Declan's still there, can you vote on question 8, please?
Oh, Josh, give up with that now. It's already burnt and died.
No, because it's what you're 50-50, so you need to decide in vote.
I see Joel wins at this point, I think.
Okay, whatever.
I just don't think it's worth calling a winner. Because
No,
like,
I don't think anyone's won.
no
in
one's
general.
won. You can take away whatever you like from.
I think
from
that
We've all
think-
wasted our time.
no,
Everything's
I'll
fucked
tell you what. There's no runner, but I'll tell you what. Me and Josh have definitely lost tonight.
Yeah.
I think we've all lost.
Anyway, Jack definitely won the first question,
How?
and then everything else we can because you got a unanimous
Oh
5-0
yeah,
vote
yeah.
How did I win that? I'd love to know.
because no one agreed with Joel. It's not that everyone agreed with you.
Yeah.
And also on the Thatcher one, you somehow also won 2-1. But I think
Yeah.
if we had more votes, then that would have been a more accurate result. And then the
I
last
feel
one
validated now.
on question 8.
I feel more validated now.
Oi, oi, oi. No. She's very much alive. There she is. She's right behind
Right.
you.
Okay, I'm done with the debate now. Stop your stream. Stop the
No,
live.
Jack, do you want closing discussion on the Bolivia and shit or
Oh, I
not?
can't be asked.
No,
I
just-
mean, we can if you want to, yeah.
You
I
don't
mean,
have to.
we
You
can
don't
just.
have to
These lot
stay.
don't need to be here.
You don't
Yeah,
have to.
you lot
bloody
can fuck
stay,
off.
you
Joel.
can go.
Just stop the live stream and do it off air. Come on.
Why?
Submission.
Might as well keep it on record, you know.
Nah, let's
In case
get it off
Jack
record.
says
I
anything
can't,
fascist.
I can't be bothered
Alright,
having
I'm
my
not. Alright, I may be slightly right wing, but I'm not a fascist.
I know it was a joke.
I'm
Jack.
at best a monarchist.
It was a joke.
Oh no,
You're
don't
not
worry.
fascist.
I mean, I'm pretty sure at this point some people in my politics think I am, but we should ignore
Was the
that.
atomic bomb justified?
Yes.
I don't
Yeah,
care.
literally, if you look at the statistics, the atomic bomb killed less people than an invasion of Japan would have done.
Okay, cool.
There we go. I've got a really nice title card up.
Except the war crimes.
You might have to give it a minute to like actually pop up.
Ooh, I'm gonna do Cloakabot.
No, you're not.
Okay,
Don't
yeah,
cloak
yes.
me.
Haha.
Right.
Who's it gonna come
So
for?
Jack, you want to discuss?
You asked for it! Really?
I mean, we can if you want, yeah.
Okay.
Stop the stream.
Let's discuss.
I've stopped the stream.
Or what if we use one of the polls that haven't been voted on to vote if we should stop the bloody stream on that?
I vote yes. 1 second. Which one we're doing?
Right, okay, I'm going to put one in chat.
Right, well, it is the closing discussion, right? Socialism's better than capitalism.
Right,
I think
Furries will
good
take
mix
over
is
the
better.
world by 2070, and my lips are really dry and I need some Vaseline. There you go.
I think a good mix of capitalism and socialism's better.
Right, vote on this one. If you vote for Joel, you want to start the stream, and if you vote for Jack,
No, I see what you mean, Jack, and I kind of agree. I think capitalism's a good base, but then you need a lot of socialism on top to make it work.
You need social programs that are designed to get people back into jobs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
Not
think
just sit at their
we
ass.
kind of agree on the fundamentals there. It's just I think I think there needs to be more drastic measures taken in that regard.
And I don't.
Well,
Yeah.
there you go. That was
Alright, there we go.
the political debate. What's it called? Salisbury versus Knight 2020, a political debate with Jack Salisbury, Volume 2.
Oh no,
Right.
please no more.
Please
Volume
smash
2.
that like button and subscribe
And fuck off.
stream.
and join the revolution, comrade.
Vote Pirate Party.
I actually might.
Jack Salisbury,
Okay,
I
whatever.
forbid
I'll
you
fucking
from
carry on.
leaving.
Yeah, well,
I
we're
can't do
done.
anything
Yay,
with
bye
these
everyone. Yay. Oh, and that's the end.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
It's all done. It's all over. I think I'm waiting a minute because there's a delay on the stream. So if I end it now, it'll like end it too early. Okay, I'll end it now. This is probably about right.